Just imagine you're walking home alone at night, gazing up at the stars when suddenly a strange, motionless UFO appears directly above you. While some might freeze in fear or take off running, a courageous few choose to stand their ground, pulling out their phones or cameras to capture what they're witnessing. This is about those bold individuals who, despite the fear of being abducted, manage to film UFOs from shockingly close range. Some of these encounters are so unsettling, they're guaranteed to send chills down your spine.
Orbit. Beyond the blue.
Mysterious object falling from the sky. A woman from Massachusetts was relaxing in her outdoor hot tub when she spotted a mystery object descending from the sky, right over her roof. She immediately got her phone out and recorded the video of the unusual scene. In the footage, you can clearly see a cylindrical craft having 3 lights on the top and 1 at the bottom, descending towards the ground. This downward motion very much resembles a descending super heavy booster of SpaceX's Starship, just that it didn't have any super hot flames coming out of its bottom. This sight completely shocked the eyewitness, as she never knew what the object was. As the craft descended to the ground quickly, the lights kept blinking like that on an airplane. She expected to hear a loud sound when the object hit the earth, but there was no noise after it disappeared from view. The Federal Aviation Administration said there were no reports of debris in the area. Officials declined to comment on the video. The landing of this alien object comes just 3 months after the mysterious Boogosphere crashed into Colombia. Why are so many alien crafts just landing on Earth? Metallic sphere spotted, once again, over Colombia. This sighting took place on the 7th of June 2025 over Yumbo, Colombia. A metallic sphere was seen flying over sugarcane plantations at a very low altitude. This sphere looked identical to the Boogosphere that fell somewhere over Buga, Colombia on 2nd March after getting struck by a high-voltage power line. That sphere is currently located in a laboratory in Mexico, where it is undergoing scientific investigation. But going back to this mysterious sphere, this UFO too was floating around in broad daylight at a very laid-back speed, as though it was doing some kind of reconnaissance of the area below, and also showing blatant lack of fear. The eyewitness who recorded the video said that the sphere was totally silent as it floated over the sugarcane plantations for around 3 minutes. This sphere, unlike the Boogosphere, was not captured by the locals and flew out of sight after some time. But why are so many metallic spheres popping up all over Colombia? Is Colombia going to be the area where aliens will first reveal themselves to mankind? Black oval UFO seen in Philippines. This eerie sighting took place somewhere in the Philippines on a cloudy day. The sky was dark with thick rain-bearing clouds. But in spite of that, this UFO was clearly visible to the eyewitnesses below. This sighting was supposedly recorded in 2014, but the video was uploaded online only recently. In the video, we see a black disc, like a UFO, moving slowly high up in the sky among the dark clouds. Similar stationary black discs have been seen all over the world from Russia to America. This UFO too, after some time, became stationary and hovered in the same position. And as the eyewitness continues to record the black disc, it suddenly starts moving upwards and zooms out at an astounding speed. No man-made aircraft made till date is capable of achieving such a quick vertical rise, clearly going to show that this craft was otherworldly. Was the black disc using the dark rain clouds as a camouflage? Disc-shaped UAP caught on camera by the military. This is not the first time that military personnel have captured a UFO on their advanced equipment. There have been countless other occasions when the aliens have been completely fearless and flown their crafts right in front of fighter jets and destroyers, showing blatant lack of fear. And this next sighting just adds to that never-ending UFO list. This footage was recently released by filmmaker Jeremy Corbell, who has also released classified UFO videos like the Jellyfish UAP and Baghdad Phantom. This sighting was recorded somewhere above the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan on the 23rd of November 2020. This video was recorded by a thermographic/forward-looking infrared camera, shot from above and looking downwards. This UFO, like most UFOs, was not giving any heat signatures and was navigating effortlessly through the dark clouds in the forward direction. The surprising detail is that just like the black disk seen in the Philippines in 2014, this UFO too was using the thick dark clouds to camouflage itself. But the high-tech military equipment was able to capture its movement on camera. Was this UFO keeping a close watch on the US military stationed in Afghanistan? Rotating shiny UFO seen over Oklahoma City. This sighting took place somewhere over Oklahoma City in January. The eyewitness was in his driveway when he noticed this abnormal object floating in the sky. According to him, the UFO was floating at about 1,500 feet. On zooming in, you can vaguely see a rotating white circular ring. This object kept floating in the sky for around 4 hours. A similar rotating jellyfish-like UFO was also seen at an undisclosed location. This unique UFO had a very jellyfish-like appearance with movements also resembling it. In addition, it was giving off such bright light that the entire area around the UFO was illuminated by it. And then the most shocking thing occurred. It started giving off a green laser-like beam which started scanning the object right below, like it was mapping the object below for some sort of 3D printing. Was the UFO seen over Oklahoma City also scanning some object below for almost 4 hours? A sphere-like UFO crashes into Colombia. On 2nd March 2025, a metallic sphere was seen flying in the sky close to the ground. Witnesses reported it was maneuvering erratically above Buga, defying the laws of conventional aerodynamics. Eventually, it crashed into the hills after getting electrocuted by high-voltage power lines. The object exhibited very unusual behavior. When they poured water on it, it started to smoke and the water vaporized instantly. And when a blowtorch was put against its surface, it didn't burn or get hot. Scientists later conducted X-ray analysis, unveiling a complex internal structure. The sphere measured approximately 50 centimeters in diameter, and its weight fluctuated between 4.5 pounds to 22 pounds. Inside, 18 smaller spheres were arranged around a central chip, all encased within 3 concentric metallic layers. The exterior bore symbols reminiscent of ancient scripts, including runes and Mesopotamian writing. The scientists employed AI to assist in deciphering the strange text. According to the researchers, the message was understood as a call to humanity, urging a collective awakening to support and heal Mother Earth. The Colombian government has yet to release an official statement. 3 Tic Tac UFOs seen flying over the moon. There are many conspiracy theories that suggest that aliens have a secret base on the moon. While there is no evidence of the same, back in 2019, a Russian photographer set up his equipment to shoot a full moon over the city of Moscow. And while trying to focus, he saw something very unusual. At first glance, he could see 3 circular objects moving near the surface of the moon. And then when he tried to refocus to confirm what he saw, to his amazement, now there were multiple circular UFOs moving at the same speed from left to right over the moon. It seemed like an entire battalion of UFOs was flying out for a mission over the moon, and exactly similar to this sighting. Tic-tac-shaped UFOs were seen flying right over the moon. This video was recorded somewhere in 2020 near Montreal, Canada. In the footage, you can see 2 to 3 capsule-shaped crafts flying close to the surface of the moon, so much so that they leave a shadow on its surface. The objects appear very small in size in the video, but their actual size might be quite massive while comparing them to the size of the moon craters right below. And these tic-tac-like crafts, very well, match the description of the UFOs that the US Navy and Air Force have come face to face with on multiple occasions in the past. So is this the definitive proof that aliens actually have a hidden base on the moon from where they are secretly monitoring human activity on Earth? Jellyfish-like UAP seen in 2021. The exact location of this sighting has not been disclosed, but it was taken in 2021 by passengers riding in a hot air balloon. The UFO seems to be floating in a desert-like area at low altitude and at a very slow pace. The top of the UFO appears to be spherical and bright, while the bottom half is red in color, overall resembling a small jellyfish. A similar jellyfish-like UFO has been seen in the past, but there it was giving off such bright light that the entire area around the UFO was illuminated. And then the most shocking thing occurred. It started giving off a green laser-like beam, which started scanning the object right below, like it was mapping the object below for some sort of 3D printing. And not just that, throughout the entire period, it constantly kept changing its shape, sometimes oval and sometimes oblong. Similar to the above two UFOs, a slow-moving orb was seen in a parking lot in the US, flying very close to the ground and moving at the same laid-back pace as the first UFO. Surprisingly, this orb disappeared and then later reappeared after some time, going to show that it was aware that it was being recorded. So do all these three jellyfish-like UFOs belong to the same alien species who are keeping a very close watch over mankind? Fast-moving bright UFO dives into the ocean. The precise location of this sighting is unknown, but it was taken near the Gulf of Mexico on March 17, 2025. In this video, you can see an object flying over the ocean giving off a bright light. In the initial part, it seems to be gliding smoothly from left to right, and even hovering in the same position for a few seconds. Then suddenly it gives off a sudden bright thrust of light from the back and zooms straight towards the ocean, as if it realized it was being recorded by the humans and hence fled into the safety of the ocean. As it descended into the ocean, it seemed to disappear only to reappear again twice, but at two different locations. But this is not the first time that a UFO has been seen going underwater. Back in April 2013, in Puerto Rico, a sphere-like object was swiftly flying first over the Rafael Hernandez Airport and then over road and commercial buildings. The UFO then slowly moved towards the ocean. That's where things got weirder, because the sphere suddenly dipped inside the water. And when it emerged out of the water, it split into two UFOs while traveling at the same speed. The UFOs again went underwater, but this time, never to be seen again. The military personnel were perplexed and horrified as to what they had just witnessed. So do both these incidents indicate that aliens have a secret underwater base? Orange sphere seen on Christmas Eve. This UFO sighting took place on Christmas Eve in 2018. A lady spotted a bizarre orange sphere in the sky off the coast of Charleston, South Carolina, which totally bamboozled her. In the footage, you can see a bright orange circular object stationary in the sky. But on zooming in, you can clearly see that the UFO was rotating very quickly. A similar bright sphere was seen at another location in North America, giving off 3 different colors. But this UFO kept changing its shape from semicircular to circular and even increased its size. And the extremely weird part of this UFO sighting is that the eyewitness and her son were actually communicating with the UFO. When the son asked the UFO if it could change colors, it suddenly turned to a bright orange.
Could you change colors? Oh my God! It did! Yeah! Yo, you're sweet!
Post that it once again took up a circular form giving off bright blue light. Was this the same UFO that was trying to make contact with multiple humans? And if so, what exactly was it trying to communicate? UFOs moving like fish in the sky, In the past, we have seen many UFOs exhibiting characteristics very much similar to living organisms, like the eerie cross-shaped UFO that was emitting lights of different colors and freely moving what looked like its arms. Similarly, a group of bright orange UFOs were spotted in San Diego, California. But what makes them different from other UFO sightings is their wavy movement. The movement of these UFOs doesn't compare to anything we have seen in the past. They flew around in the sky like fish in the water, which definitely would make any eyewitness think that they were alive. They also resembled fireflies because of their irregular flying pattern. Does this mean that aliens, in addition to having highly advanced tech, also possess the ability to fly? And if so, what other supernatural abilities might they be possessing that we should be worried about? Plasmoid seen in New Jersey by a news reporter. New Jersey was in the news last year mainly because of the huge number of drone sightings that started in November. Drones the size of small cars were seen by multiple locals. Even President Donald Trump commented on these drones.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went.
Some even believed that these drones were extraterrestrial in origin. And because of this, everyone was keeping their eyes peeled to catch a glimpse of these drones, or UFOs. But while doing so, one news reporter ended up recording something totally otherworldly. Her crew recorded what seems like a plasmoid stationary in the sky. This also looked very similar to a plasma lamp. She was totally dumbstruck by what she was seeing. Some people think that these plasmoids are the real reason so many drones were seen in and around New Jersey. They believe that the US military was sending out drones to investigate these high-energy plasmoids, which were definitely alien in origin. Some astronauts have even claimed to have seen such plasmoids when in space. But this is the first time that such plasmoids are making an appearance on Earth. Why are these energy balls appearing in New Jersey, which is also home to Picatinny Arsenal? Spanning a 6,500-acre military installation, it holds a distinctive role in strengthening the United States' military capabilities. Are the aliens keeping a watchful eye on the biggest superpower in the world? Glowing, spinning UFO seen over Ohio. This particular sighting took place in New Richmond, Ohio on December 13th, 2024. The eyewitness was out camping when she noticed something weird shining in the sky. In the start, you will think it is just another star, but on zooming in you will notice that this object is spinning rapidly while levitating in the sky in one position. The eyewitness even goes on to say that this UFO was triangular in shape, which obviously cannot be perceived because of its rapid spinning movement. But if you slow down the footage, you can see a faint triangle shape. The eyewitness even claimed that this was the second spinning triangle UFO she saw that night. We have seen multiple triangle UFOs in the past, but never one that spins so quickly that it looks almost circular. Was this UFO spinning quickly to open some kind of interdimensional portal to fly away? UFOs seen after Japan's Fukushima nuclear disaster. UFOs have mostly been seen around military bases and next to fighter jets. This can be mainly because the aliens are keeping a close watch on our military combat techniques and also our nuclear arsenal. But aliens are also seen whenever any natural disaster strikes, like the cigar-shaped UFO seen over the wildfire in Los Angeles. Maybe aliens are trying to help the people affected by the catastrophe. Similarly, a group of UFOs were seen in the sky after the Fukushima nuclear accident in Japan. On March 11, 2011, the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station sustained severe damage following a massive 9.0 magnitude earthquake and the subsequent tsunami. After the accident, 10 strange objects appeared in the sky above the damaged reactor and hovered over the site for several hours before disappearing into the night. It's a well-known fact that UFOs have a keen interest in our nuclear technology, and the Fukushima accident may have caught their attention. Similar bright orbs were also seen when the Chernobyl nuclear disaster took place in Ukraine in 1986. Are the orbs hovering around such sites to absorb the excess radiation with their advanced technology, thus helping humanity? We will never know. Orange orbs seen outside an airplane. In the past, there have been multiple occasions when UFOs have been seen from aircrafts at high altitudes, like the metallic sphere seen by pilots in Pakistan in 2021, and the UFO seen by a Colombian pilot after almost avoiding a head-on collision with it. UFOs don't seem to shy away from being captured on camera high up in the sky. And a similar behavior was noticed on the 18th of December, 2024, over Newark, Chicago. A passenger flight was cruising at an altitude of around 30,000 feet when a passenger noticed something weird when peeping out the window. You can clearly see 5 bright orbs flying at the same altitude as the airplane and also moving at the same speed as it, like these orbs were following this passenger plane on purpose. These orbs also resembled the ones seen over Capitol Hill in November 2024. Was something highly classified being carried on this commercial airplane that the aliens were aware of, and hence they were following it? Multiple questions like these spring up when we see such UFOs. Pyramid-shaped UFO seen in Colombia. Colombia is no stranger when it comes to UFOs and alien activity, and these unusual sightings mostly happen at high altitudes, as in the case of the 3 instances when spherical UFOs were caught on camera, effortlessly flying by commercial airplanes. This particular sighting took place on January 25, 2025 over Antioquia, from the cockpit of a commercial plane that was cruising at an altitude of about 22,000 feet. The pilot was looking outside when suddenly he spotted this black pyramid-shaped craft quickly approaching them, which left him dumbstruck. He immediately pulled out his phone and started recording this eerie UFO. This UFO was definitely not a balloon, as the object held its position effortlessly while moving forward in a straight line, clearly implying that it was being propelled by some external force. This was also not a drone, as commercial drones don't fly at such high altitudes. First spheres, then a spinning top, and now a pyramid-shaped UFO. Why are so many weird-looking UFOs flying over Colombia? Is there a secret alien base in Antioquia that we don't know about? UFO seen darting off into space. This sighting in particular is very unusual, as it shows how highly advanced alien tech actually is. And we understand this by merely seeing the speeds at which these crafts dart off. In the past, we have seen UFOs zoom away at thousands of miles per hour, like the white orb that was seen over Ibiza, Spain, where the orb zipped out of the field of vision in just 1 second, something totally impossible for any man-made craft right now. The fastest rocket ever built till date is SpaceX's Starship, which moves at an astounding speed of 15,000 miles per hour. And even this man-made marvel can't perform what the Ibiza white orb did in a mere second. But moving back to the current sighting, it took place in April 2024 over Arizona. A couple of friends were on a fishing trip on a moonlit night when they noticed something odd flying next to the moon, and equally bright. They definitely knew that it was not a star as it moved slowly. What's shocking is that the UFO appears to be half the size of the moon. As time goes by, the UFO slowly moves away from the moon. Bear in mind that what looks like very slow movement on Earth, due to the vast distance between the Earth and the moon, might actually be thousands of miles. As the UFO moves away from the moon, its light keeps getting dimmer, meaning that it has moved further into space. And after merely a few seconds, its light totally disappears, implying that it has moved deep into space and covered more than the distance between the Earth and the Moon, approximately 240,000 miles. How advanced are these extraterrestrials that they can cover the distance between the Earth and the Moon in a matter of seconds? Also, why was this UFO flying so close to the Moon? UFO seen changing shape and color. The exact location of this next sighting cannot be determined, but it was recorded somewhere in North America. the eyewitness and her son noticed this weird semicircular structure, emitting pulsating light stationed high up in the sky. Immediately, she knew that it was not a star and started recording it. The object seemed to be giving off bright blue light initially, and then suddenly the object reduced in size within a fraction of a second. And as the eyewitness was just processing this, the UFO suddenly increased to almost triple its size. All through the recording, the camera was never zoomed in. The UFO continued to decrease and then suddenly increase its size at will, like it was a living organism. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, it formed a perfect circle with 3 different colors. The circle then increased its size just like before, only difference being that this time it was much larger. And the extremely weird part of this UFO sighting is that the eyewitness and her son were actually communicating with the UFO. When the son asked the UFO if it could change colors, it suddenly turned to a bright orange.
Could you change colors? Oh my God, it did! Yeah! Yo, you're sweet!
Post that it once again took up a circular form giving off bright blue light. But why, and most importantly, how was this UFO communicating with the eyewitness here on Earth? And does that mean that the UFO was an advanced living organism? Glowing UFOs performing synchronized maneuvers. These UFOs were seen in England, where there have been multiple sightings, like the triangular UFO seen from a doorbell camera in 2022. This particular sighting also took place in the same year in Hertfordshire County in East England. Initially, you will think that it's a 1940s-style airplane that performs aerial maneuvers at air shows while leaving a trail of colorful smoke. But after a few seconds, you will realize that the object is glowing brightly and is definitely not a vintage airplane. And on zooming in, you can clearly see that there are 2 bright orbs moving around each other in a perfectly synchronized fashion. And not only are the orbs bright, but even the trail of smoke that they were leaving behind was equally bright. Also, these UFOs were not afraid about being seen by humans, as you can see them gliding aimlessly in the sky from one end to another in broad daylight. Almost like they were doing this on purpose, to show themselves to the humans below. Was this some kind of message that they were trying to send to humanity? Multiple stationary lights seen in the sky. In the last couple of months, many such UFOs have been seen all around the world. And not just anywhere. Similar bright orbs were seen right above Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., just a few days after the UFO congressional hearing of 2024. Similar bright stationary orbs were also seen by a group of friends while driving somewhere in North America. The group then stopped the car to get a better view of these UFOs. These orbs were giving off a bright orange color, similar to the ones seen above Capitol Hill in November. These orbs also firmly held their position all through the recording, like stars in a constellation. What might be the purpose of so many orbs being stationed right above important government buildings and well-populated areas? Are the aliens planning something sinister that we should be prepared for? Or maybe they're just keeping a watchful eye over us. Multiple UFOs seen over Magé, Brazil. In May 2020, the quiet town of Magé, just north of Rio de Janeiro, became the epicenter of some truly bizarre UFO activity. Residents were left scratching their heads as strange, illuminated orbs appeared in the sky. These weren't your average lights. Oh no. We're talking about blue, red, and yellow spheres flying in tight formations. One video, captured by a witness, showed a glowing disc-shaped UFO gliding lazily over a field at dusk. Sound familiar? It's almost identical to a UFO sighting over Stuttgart, Germany back in 1993. But wait, there's more. In another clip, a stationary craft is visible, emitting 5 orange lights, a color we've seen before in other UFO encounters. And get this, witnesses even reported hearing explosions and seeing debris fall. The next day, rumors spread that military vehicles and helicopters were sent to the location, as if trying to clean up something, or maybe cover it up. Officially, the Magé UFO incident remains an unresolved mystery. Oval orb seen racing an airplane. We've all heard of UFOs getting up close and personal with commercial aircraft, but this one? Wow. Picture this. You're flying high in the sky, cruising along in your airplane, when suddenly, something strange appears in your path. At first, you think it's a missile, but then, out of nowhere, this oval-shaped UFO picks up speed and zooms right past the plane. Now, commercial jets fly around 600 miles per hour, but this UFO? It's flying at over 1,000 miles per hour. The UFO doesn't just follow the plane, it leads the way, darting ahead as if showing off its advanced technology. But the big question is, why was it so interested in this particular airplane? A curious observer? Or maybe, just maybe, something more sinister? And last but definitely not least, blinking shiny orbs seen over Arizona. Ah, Arizona, a place known for its dry heat and UFOs. This latest sighting took place in Phoenix, the same city that was home to the infamous Phoenix Lights in 1997, where a massive UFO formation was spotted across the skies. Fast forward to today, and the mystery continues. Hundreds of blinking shiny orbs were spotted floating high above Phoenix. At first, you might think it's just a trick of the light, but zoom in, and bam, there they are. Multiple glass-like orbs blinking in the sky. Similar sightings have popped up in Finland, Lisbon, and even over Phoenix again in 2023. But here's the real kicker. Are these orbs testing weather manipulation tech? Or are they something far more cryptic? Perhaps alien probes observing our world? So what's going on here, folks? With these baffling sightings on the rise, are we truly being watched by beings from another world? Or are they just getting ready to reveal themselves? The truth is, we don't know. But one thing's for sure, there's still no solid, undeniable proof that we're not alone. UFOs hovering over U.S. Capitol. If you think that humans were the only ones keenly paying attention to the congressional UFO hearing, then you were wrong. Because it seems like aliens too were keeping a close watch on what was being disclosed to the public that fateful day. This sighting took place on the 29th of November, right above the U.S. Capitol situated in Washington, D.C. Initially, 3 mysterious lights, then 4, can be seen hovering above the Statue of Freedom on the U.S. Capitol dome. The 3 lights remain stationary, but the 4th one keeps moving away while disappearing and reappearing again. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a bright orange light appears on the right side, almost like a bright star. And then when the camera is moved to the right, more such lights begin to appear. The incident's timing, occurring just weeks after a significant U.S. congressional hearing on UFOs, has fueled increased speculation about their potential origins and purpose. What if the aliens are actually planning to introduce themselves at the next UFO hearing at the U.S. Capitol? Large alien probes flying over New Jersey. In the past, we have seen alien probes hovering around military sites like the Jellyfish UAP spotted in 2017 over a U.S. military base in Iraq. But off late, multiple such probes have been spotted over local neighborhoods of New Jersey, leaving people literally dumbstruck with fear. The FBI is looking into reports of several mysterious UFOs that have recently been spotted at night across central New Jersey. Since November 18th, witnesses have reported seeing a group of what seem to be alien probes, some as big as cars, flying in multiple areas. In one video, the UFO can be seen swiftly moving in the forward direction, not that far away from the ground. And as seen on multiple occasions in the past, this UFO as well was giving off lights from 3 distinct points, giving us an estimate that it was triangular in shape. The UFOs have raised concerns, partly because they occurred near a U.S. military research and manufacturing facility, as well as over President-elect Donald Trump's golf course in Bedminster. These sightings come just 4 months after a UFO was seen at the same rally, where there was an unsuccessful assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Why are aliens keeping a close watch on the 47th President of the United States of America? Only time will tell. Mount Etna UFO. There are certain conspiracy theories that aliens actually reside inside volcanoes. Some even suggest they use the intense thermal energy from these volcanoes to power their crafts. These speculations had no solid proof until this particular UFO sighting that took place over the most active stratovolcano in the world, Mount Etna. Mount Etna is situated on the east coast of Sicily, Italy, Europe's tallest active volcano, last erupted strongly in December 2023. The eruption sent ash and lava high into the sky, and ash rained down on Catania and nearby cities. But all this carnage and destruction doesn't seem to scare the aliens away from Mount Etna. In December 2018, a forward-looking infrared video sensor aboard an uncrewed U.S. Air Force platform captured this footage while operating over the Mediterranean Sea. The footage shows an object that appears to be moving swiftly across a plume of superheated gas and ash produced by an eruption of Mount Etna. This spherical UFO very closely resembles the one seen over Puerto Rico in April 2013 over the Rafael Hernandez Airport. That UFO also moved swiftly, first over the airport and then over road and commercial buildings, before finally disappearing into the ocean nearby. But coming back to the Mount Etna UFO, it is shocking how this UFO was able to move so close to the crater of Mount Etna while it was spewing hot lava and superheated gas. It would be impossible for any man-made craft to survive or even function normally in such scorching temperatures. The forward-looking infrared video sensor eventually lost track of the UFO as it moved out of plain sight. Mysterious dark object hovering above West Michigan. The latest UFO sighting of 2024 occurred on November 8th in West Michigan, and it's certainly one that will send chills down your spine. What makes this sighting particularly eerie is that it happened in broad daylight, similar to many recent UFO encounters. Whether this means aliens are becoming bolder, or if people are simply more attuned to spotting these phenomena, is anyone's guess. A dark, enigmatic object was seen floating in the sky, sparking a wave of curiosity, speculation, and even fear. The sighting took place primarily along Gizon Parkway in Byron Center. In the footage, a triangular-shaped craft can be seen hovering motionless. Some observers have suggested it resembles the TR-3B Astra, a secretive triangular military aircraft said to have been developed through reverse-engineered alien technology. One witness even reported watching the UFO for 15 minutes without seeing any movement. This sighting is reminiscent of the stationary black disk observed over Jupiter, Florida on March 21, 2021, which remained in place throughout the entire recording. But why are these bold UFOs hovering over residential areas in the middle of the day? Are they preparing for something more ominous that the US military should be concerned about? Jellyfish UFO giving off green particle beam. UFO sightings typically involve either stationary crafts emitting bright lights or objects moving at incredible speeds. However, a UFO emitting a laser-like beam has never been captured on camera until now. The exact location of this sighting remains unknown, but what makes it unique is the UFO's jellyfish-like appearance and movements, which also mimicked those of a jellyfish. The craft emitted such intense light that it illuminated the entire area surrounding it. The most astonishing part, however, was when it began projecting a green laser-like beam, scanning the object below as if mapping it for some form of 3D printing. Throughout the sighting, the UFO constantly changed shape, shifting from oval to oblong forms. Given the fluidity and nature of its movements, one could easily believe this UFO is not a machine, but rather a living entity, perhaps an alien cyborg, part alien and part machine. Disc-shaped UFO sending out a metallic sphere. In our previous UFO videos, we featured several orb-like UFOs moving at both low and high altitudes. These metallic spheres appeared to be conducting some form of reconnaissance, but their origins remained a mystery. However, this particular sighting reveals the source of these metallic orbs. The footage, uploaded to Instagram in 2020 by Tom DeLonge, co-founder of the rock band Blink-182 and UFO researcher, captures a disc-shaped UFO hovering in the sky. While one might expect this UFO to remain stationary like others we've shown, something unexpected happens. After a few seconds, a metallic sphere is released from the underside of the craft, almost like a bomb being dropped from a World War II-era plane. Unfortunately, the video doesn't follow the orb after it is released, and instead continues focusing on the flying saucer. Based on our past observations, however, we know these metallic orbs typically move independently, carefully scanning the area around them. But what exactly are these alien crafts looking for? What is it that makes them keep coming back to Earth? Are they performing reconnaissance on our planet for a possible future invasion? UFO seen at Donald Trump's assassination attempt. On July 13, 2024, near Butler, Pennsylvania, a shocking disc-shaped UFO was spotted right before a failed assassination attempt on Donald Trump during an open-air rally. As Trump delivered his speech, a witness filming the event noticed something strange in the sky and captured it on camera. What they saw was a black disc soaring at incredible speeds, similar to a UFO seen earlier over LaGuardia Airport. Even more unsettling? The footage only reveals the UFO clearly when slowed to 1/4 speed, showing just how fast it was moving. What's even more eerie is that this was a no-fly zone due to the rally. So, was this UFO simply observing the rally? Or did it have a forewarning of the assassination attempt that was about to unfold? UFO seen in Moldova in 2024. Next, we head to Chisinau, Moldova, where in June of 2024, a disc-shaped UFO was caught hovering in the sky. This UFO bore a striking resemblance to the one filmed by Tom DeLonge of Blink-182, though this one didn't eject any metallic objects. After hovering briefly, it sped off at a mind-blowing rate of acceleration, far beyond the capabilities of any known man-made craft. This phenomenon mirrors other sightings, like the white orb over Ibiza earlier this year, which also zoomed away as soon as it was recorded. Why are these mysterious orbs popping up all over Europe, starting stationary, then darting off at lightning speeds? 3 black UFOs. Finally, we move to an undisclosed location where a witness, fresh from a rugby practice, captured 3 black UFOs floating in the sky. These objects formed a distinct triangle formation, with each orb moving independently. Unlike other UFOs, these 3 stayed perfectly still throughout the entire recording. So, were these UFOs just casually observing the rugby game? Or is there more to this encounter than meets the eye? The unexplained nature of these UFO sightings leaves us with more questions than answers. Are they extraterrestrial, secret military tech, or something even more mysterious? UFO seen hovering over Statue of Liberty. As mentioned earlier, aliens have become extremely bold in the last few years, so much so that they are appearing in huge numbers right over the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., which has top-level security. This sighting took place on the 29th of November last year, just a couple of weeks after the UFO congressional hearing. Initially, 3 mysterious lights, then 4 can be seen hovering above the Statue of Freedom on the U.S. Capitol dome. But coming back to the UFO seen in the Big Apple, the exact date for this sighting has not been disclosed, but it was captured by a couple that was sightseeing and taking photos of the marvelous monument. They noticed something strange shining behind the statue. In the video recorded by the couple, you can see multiple shining lights rotating in a synchronized fashion, going to show that they were emitted from a slow-moving craft. On zooming in, you can clearly see 3 distinct lights, making a triangle formation, like most of the triangular UFOs witnesses have seen in the past. What makes this even more intriguing is that the video was captured on the same day that lightning struck the statue's torch. Was this lightning real or artificial? Was it an energy beam that was directed to the UFO from the mothership above to charge it up, or mere lightning due to bad weather? Multiplying orbs seen in Mexico. Mexico is no stranger to UFO sightings as seen in the past. Like the USO seen off the coast of Mexico, giving off bright light from under the ocean, to the terrifying encounter of the Mexican Air Force with not one, but 11 UFOs at an astounding altitude of 11,500 feet above sea level. But the current sighting took place somewhere in a forest in Mexico. A couple of residents noticed a large bright orb floating in the middle of the woods. In this footage, you can see a big white orb with two tiny orbs revolving around it, like the moon revolves around the Earth. This orb very closely resembled the mysterious floating orb seen in a parking lot somewhere in the States. Then, suddenly out of nowhere, the orb divided into two parts, with the second one rising up and slowly moving away from the site. This white orb moved independently and in the forward direction, going to show that it was being propelled by some force. It also had a tiny orb revolving around it that kept revolving even though the main orb continued moving forward and upwards. This is also not the first time that a UFO has been seen with something smaller revolving around it. Back in 2020 in Papua New Guinea, a helicopter was seen chasing a UFO which had two cylindrical objects revolving around it, but not connected to it in any visible way. Are these two UFOs belonging to the same alien race? UFO giving off multiple waves. The exact time and location of this sighting cannot be determined. A group of people noticed something strange up in the clouds in the night sky. Here you can see an object high up in the sky giving off multiple white waves in the downward direction. This looks very similar to the UFO seen in Oklahoma last year, which also was giving off similar white plumes of air resembling a shock wave. Then the onlookers got a real surprise. The UFO suddenly started emitting multiple white plumes from its right side and later from the left side as well. Such an erratic behavior of a UFO has never been captured before on camera. Initially, you would think it's just a rocket making an entry into space, but man-made rockets don't give off so many white plume shockwaves while moving ahead, and definitely not in all directions. So what exactly was this craft? UFO with a cloud cloak. In the past, we have shown a UFO that was spotted during a live golf broadcast that suddenly zoomed away. But what's even more shocking is that a few moments later, even the cloud near it zoomed away at the same lightning speed, like it was there just to hide the presence of the UFO from the human eyes below. Coming back to this sighting, which also involves a quick-moving cloud, an onlooker, while gazing up at the sky in the daytime, noticed one cloud moving very quickly and independently in the forward direction compared to the others. And when he zoomed in, he was shocked to see multiple blinking lights within the cloud, moving at exactly the same speed as the cloud. So basically, this was a UFO which was using an artificial cloud to cloak its movements during the daytime. Multiple videos of this sighting were uploaded on the internet, but all of them were later taken down. Is the government testing some kind of new cloaking technology, or they just don't want us to notice the aliens in our skies for reasons unknown? News reporters see multiple orbs on live TV. While delivering a routine nightly weather report, news reporters were completely stunned when something otherworldly appeared on live camera. While showing a live shot of the city skyline, they were dumbstruck to see multiple glowing orbs moving in the sky in all directions. The astonishment among the news reporters can clearly be seen in their voice, showing that they had never seen anything like this in their entire life. And as they kept talking, all of the orbs slowly disappeared into the darkness. Similar multiple white orbs were also seen in Russia, but those orbs were forming the infinity symbol, like they were trying to open a portal of sorts in the sky. Similar shiny orbs were also seen in huge numbers in China, but this time they were moving right in front of the moon, as though they were charging themselves up using the moon's light. What exactly is the purpose of so many multiple orbs moving erratically in the night sky? Maybe the aliens are trying to manipulate our weather with their advanced technology. UFO seen over Pakistan. When you talk of UFO sightings that have happened over the continent of Asia, countries like Russia, China, and India take the top spot. mostly because being the three biggest countries in the continent, they obviously cover large land masses, and hence the possibility of UFO sightings in these countries goes up considerably. But this particular sighting surprisingly took place in Pakistan, where UFOs have been showing up a lot in the last decade. This sighting took place high up in the sky on 23 January 2021. A team of commercial pilots were on a routine passenger flight from Lahore to Karachi when they spotted a mysterious object outside their window. The pilots noticed a bright orb right in front of them over the city of Rahim Yar Khan. On focusing the camera, you can clearly see a shiny metallic sphere. No commercial drone can fly at an altitude of about 40,000 feet, so this metallic sphere was definitely not man-made. This UFO very much resembles the multiple metallic spheres that have been spotted by other pilots. Like the sphere seen moving in a forward direction in Colombia, and also the one spotted by a US fighter pilot over the East Coast. The Pakistani pilots also stated that the orb was moving at the same speed as the aircraft, as though it was monitoring the plane. Why are so many metallic spheres stalking commercial and military planes? Circular probe following a military aircraft. And just like the previous sighting, this one also involves an orb and an aircraft at a high altitude. The exact location of this sighting is not known, but this footage, like many other classified ones, was released to the public by the US government. This UFO sighting was captured by a forward-looking infrared camera belonging to the US military. Here we can clearly see what seems to be like a circular orb moving right behind a military plane. Initially, the orb was right above the plane, but the plane realized it was being followed and hence accelerated, leaving the orb behind. But to everyone's surprise, the orb tries to catch up with the aircraft like it is locked onto it like a heat-seeking missile. The aircraft then does a complete U-turn to try and evade the probe. And it is only then that the UFO eventually lets go of the chase and moves away from the airplane. This spherical UFO closely resembles the one spotted over Puerto Rico in April 2013 near Rafael Hernandez Airport. That UFO also moved swiftly, flying over the airport, roads, and commercial buildings, before ultimately vanishing into the nearby ocean. A similar probe-like UFO was also seen over Mount Etna in Italy. Why are such probes closely monitoring military crafts and commercial and natural sites? Only time will tell. UFO seen during total solar eclipse. A total solar eclipse is a very rare natural phenomenon, and hence it garners a lot of attention in the area where it can be observed. People gather in huge numbers in open areas, with special glasses to watch this rare celestial spectacle. But for this particular eclipse, someone else was also keeping a close watch along with the humans. The date and location of this sighting again has not been disclosed, but it occurred during the last total solar eclipse. People were looking up at the sky to get a glimpse of the rare event when they noticed something abnormal moving in the sky. The eyewitness was pointing his camera towards the sky to record the eclipse, but he ended up capturing this shocking footage. You can clearly see a disc-shaped object zoom past from behind the clouds, like it was trying to hide from the humans below. This was definitely not a commercial plane or fighter jet, as they would have given a different shape. On pausing the footage, you can clearly see the elongated cigar shape of this UFO.
And accidentally recorded something whizzing behind the clouds. A few keen-eyed observers immediately noticed it, but it moved so fast they couldn't figure out what it was.
This disc-like UFO resembles the previous disc UFOs we have seen in the past, like the Baghdad Phantom of 2022, the UFO seen over a mountain in Russia, and also the stationary black disc seen over Florida in 2021. Is a total solar eclipse of some importance to the aliens? Or did they mistime their flight, not knowing that the brightness would change momentarily, thus revealing their presence? Blue elongated LED UFO. Most of the UFOs seen are either in the shape of discs, metallic sphere-like probes, or triangular crafts. But this particular UFO sighting does not fit into any of the above three categories. This sighting took place in Scottsdale, Arizona. This UFO had an elongated shape and emitted bright blue light. In addition to the bright light, it also exhibited movement like it was alive. This sighting was also reported on the local news, with the reporter being totally dumbfounded on seeing it in the sky. This LED UFO was also spotted in Mesa and Phoenix City. There too, the person recording the video was left completely spellbound. A similar LED UFO was seen at another location, but here it had a weird cross-like formation. But this UFO too was giving off bright blue and green light and exhibited some movement. Were these the same UFOs? And if so, why were they moving like a living organism? Are these some kind of alien cyborgs sent to keep a watch on us? Multiple bright UFOs seen flying in the sky. Seeing one UFO is enough to send a shiver down your spine. Now imagine seeing a fleet of UFOs moving right beside you. That is exactly the shock that an eyewitness had to go through on that fateful day. The exact location of this sighting, too, is unknown. Here we see a total of 9 bright UFOs moving in unison in the forward direction without breaking their formation. Later they move apart, and one of the 9 UFOs suddenly disappears into thin air. But they still continue moving in the forward direction, maintaining their new formation. What's interesting is that one of these UFOs was shining brighter than the others, giving an orange glow, like it was the command center for the remaining 8 UFOs. This looks very similar to the UFOs seen over the United States Capitol, where initially just 3 mysterious lights, then 4 could be seen hovering above the Statue of Freedom. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a bright orange light appeared on the right side, almost like a bright star, similar to the command center UFO in the 9 UFOs sighting. Why are so many UFOs moving about in plain sight without any fear of being spotted? Not just by the general public, but even by the military. Have the aliens gotten more bold? Livestock robbing UFOs seen in Appalachia. In the past, we have often heard stories of cattle being abducted from farms, and in some cases even surgically mutilated, like the horrid cattle abduction stories from the infamous Skinwalker Ranch. But never ever has any evidence of these UFOs being recorded on camera until now. The exact time of this UFO sighting is unknown, but it took place somewhere in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains in the United States. A farmer in the area noticed his livestock vanishing under strange circumstances. Determined to uncover the truth, he woke up very early one morning to catch the culprits in the act. However, what he witnessed left him completely stunned. He saw a strange craft emerging from the foothills. The UFO hovered in the same position and was giving off bright lights. But as the farmer tried to go near to get a better look at the UFO, it disappeared into thin air. And then suddenly, after some time, 2 similar UFOs appeared in the same position. One of these UFOs started approaching the farmer quickly, and hence, out of fear for his life, he stopped recording and fled to his home. Disc UFO over Santee. This sighting took place in May 2013 over the Santee skyline in San Diego. A witness noticed something eerie hovering in the sky above her, and so she immediately snapped a picture of the UFO with her professional camera. You can clearly see a shiny disc-shaped UFO stationary in the sky. This UFO very closely resembles the black disc-like UFO seen from an airplane at LaGuardia Airport in New York at the start of 2024. The size and shape of both the UFOs seem very identical, and shockingly, the photographer claims that her camera instantly broke after she clicked this picture, going to say that the aliens in that craft never wanted her to click any more pics of them. But then, why did they even allow themselves to get clicked in the first place? And what kind of superior technology do they possess that they can destroy electronic devices from so far away, even without getting in contact with them? Alien probe, floating in parking lot. In the past, we have seen multiple videos showing what look like alien probes swiftly moving in the sky, and sometimes even close to the ground, like the jellyfish UAP of 2017 and the rubber duck UFO of 2019. This particular UFO sighting, too, was captured by a forward-looking infrared camera belonging to the US military. The exact location and time of this video has not been disclosed yet. In the video, we can initially see an empty parking lot, but suddenly there is some movement on the bottom left. A sphere-like object smoothly flies from right to left. In the start, you will think it's a balloon that has gone adrift from a nearby birthday party. But then, the maneuvers that it performs shows that it was being controlled and propelled by some kind of force. The sphere continues to move around the parking lot and finally comes in front of a truck. That's when something unnatural happens. It suddenly disappears in thin air. The forward-looking infrared camera frantically looked around to search the sphere, but to no avail. Then after some time, it mysteriously appeared right in front of the truck and continued to move around it before quickly moving out of the field of vision of the forward-looking infrared camera. Why this alien probe was monitoring an empty parking lot will continue to stay a mystery. Floating black disc, seen in Russia. Just like the United States, Russia too has witnessed multiple UFO sightings due to the large landmass it covers. Previously, we have seen videos recorded by Russians showing alien probes forming an infinity symbol in the sky, and also a pyramid-like UFO hovering right over the capital, Moscow. But this time around, an elongated cigar-shaped UFO was spotted by hikers hovering high above the mountains. Initially, the UFO seemed very stationary, but on zooming in, you can clearly see that it was moving ahead at a laid-back pace. This cigar UFO very much resembles the one seen in Florida in March 2021, which also moved in a similar laid-back fashion. It also shares a striking similarity with the stationary UFO seen by Ukrainian soldiers during the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. Was this the same UFO from the war that was eventually returning back to its alien base in the mountains? Black discs seen from an airplane. Gone are the days when UFOs would be seen only at night in the dark sky. Aliens have now become so bold that their crafts have been seen by multiple eyewitnesses in broad daylight. And with every phone having a camera nowadays, UFOs can't stay hidden for long. And a lot of these sightings are taking place from airplanes at high altitudes, like the metallic sphere seen from a commercial plane in Colombia and the black disc-like UFO seen at New York's LaGuardia Airport. And who can forget the scary incident where a UFO almost collided head-on with a commercial plane? But in this sighting, the UFO seems to be moving away from the airplane, posing no immediate threat to them. On zooming in, you can see the disc shape of the UFO, again resembling the LaGuardia UFO, but moving at a very slow pace compared to it. The UFO didn't make any attempt to zoom away from the airplane like the Ibiza UFO of 2024, which sped away instantly after people started noticing it. As the aliens get more bold and make such startling appearances not just in broad daylight, but also just a few 100 feet above people's homes, the only question that remains is, how soon till aliens come face to face with mankind? While skeptics and believers debate, these sightings remind us to keep our eyes on the skies and our minds open to the possibilities. Triangular UFO, recorded by a doorbell camera in England. In 2022, a man in England got a notification from his doorbell camera. He expected a visitor, but what he found was much more bizarre. A triangular UFO, glowing with 3 bright lights, slowly glided across the sky. This sighting closely mirrors others we've seen in Florida and Texas. Could this be the same UFO keeping an eye on us from above? UFO flying over a boat marina. The exact location and time of this sighting has not been confirmed, but it's highly likely that it took place somewhere over North America. During one sunset, a very strange object flew in the sky over a boat marina. leaving onlookers totally amazed. Initially, onlookers thought it was just a helicopter, but the person recording the video knew that something was just not right. So he continued filming the object as it moved at a decent speed, high up in the sky. Eventually, he zoomed in on the object, and what he saw would definitely give you goosebumps. This is unlike any of the UFOs we have seen in the past, neither having a triangular or disc-like shape. Even the size seemed relatively smaller and more like an alien probe that was carrying out a reconnaissance mission. The UFO seemed to have a very distinctive shape and resembled the futuristic probes we have seen in Hollywood science fiction movies. The footage gets very eerie, as it might be one of clearest UFO sightings in broad daylight, unlike most of the sightings that occur mostly during nighttime. The fact that the alien probe was not moving too quickly, making it easily visible to humans, goes to show that they had no fear of being tracked or even caught. Triangular UFO spotted right over the house. A couple were spending a nice private moment on their front porch when an abnormal craft in the night sky interrupted their romantic get-together. What they saw left them totally dumbstruck. They saw 3 bright white lights coming from a craft having a triangular shape, and 1 smaller red light coming from the exact center of that unusual craft. On zooming in further, they could clearly make out the triangular shape of the craft. This was unlike the other triangular UFOs seen in Tomball, Texas, and in Sunrise, Florida, where the 3 UFOs moved independently in different directions after some time. This also closely resembled the triangular UFO seen by the night vision camera from the destroyer USS Russell in 2019. The government's classified briefing clearly mentioned that the triangular UFO was definitely not owned by the United States or any other country, or even a private spaceflight firm. Some would say that this UFO was just the Northrop B-2 Spirit, also known as the stealth bomber. But this heavy strategic bomber of the U.S. Air Force is not known to possess hovering capabilities. The size of the craft cannot be gauged, but the proximity of that UFO to the house is enough to send shivers down the spine of any human being. Multiple UFOs chase fishermen. Just like the night sky, our oceans also serve as a hotspot for UFO sightings. The U.S. Navy has encountered UFOs on multiple occasions when at sea, like the spherical UFOs seen off the coast of San Diego. This hostile confrontation took place in July 2019. These UAPs swarmed around multiple Navy warships for hours, thus showing blatant lack of fear for the U.S. Army. One of those ships, the USS Omaha, encountered as many as 14 of the UFOs all at the same time. One of the objects, a self-illuminated sphere at least 6 feet in diameter, flew alongside the Omaha for an extended period and was observed through a thermal sensor. Then later, it just disappeared into the ocean. A similar kind of threat was recently faced by fishermen at sea at an unidentified location. These fishermen were deep sea fishing on a boat when they noticed these strange lights shining brightly on the horizon. You can see multiple bright orange lights floating over the water, but if you look closely, you will see 4 lights clubbed together, making them 4 separate UFOs, equidistant from each other. Sensing some kind of danger, the fishermen started moving away from these UFOs. But it got even scarier when these UFOs started chasing them at a great speed. The fishermen could sense that the UFOs were closing in on them very quickly, and at one point, they even feared for their lives. What happened with these fishermen is unknown, as the clip doesn't go any further, but we hope that they were able to escape these hostile UFOs that were chasing them for God knows what. Rubber duck UFO. The rubber duck incident took place on November 23, 2019 in the vicinity of the Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. It was shot from a reconnaissance plane with a forward-looking infrared camera. As they were overlooking the landscape, an object came into view, moving rapidly from right to left. The UFO was moving swiftly, notably against the wind, with high speed, without any visible means of propulsion, proving that it was not a balloon. The odd rubber duck-like shape of the object caught the attention of many UFO enthusiasts, with many naming it the rubber duck UFO. A recent paper by the Scientific Coalition of UAP Studies declared that it was a genuine UFO. This sighting was very similar to the UFO hovering over the Puerto Rico airport in April 2013, which exhibited a similar flight pattern. UFO seen over Turkey. This particular sighting took place on May 13, 2009, over the capital Istanbul. Around 3 a.m., something very odd appeared to be hovering in the sky for almost 30 mins over the Sea of Marmara, and this strange craft was recorded by one onlooker. The shiny nature of the craft caught his attention, but zooming in is when he really got the shock of his life, as not only was the silvery craft more clearly visible then, but he was also able to see two extraterrestrial beings who were flying the spacecraft. Such video evidence of aliens sitting inside a UFO has never been recorded on camera, and hence this footage gained worldwide fame back in 2009. Most of the UFOs that have been recorded on camera before seem to be covered from all sides, thus concealing the aliens inside. But this might be the first time that the cockpit of a UFO was clearly captured on camera. The Turkish government even came forward to clarify that this spacecraft was quite authentic and was not one of their secret military programs. Metallic spinning top like UFO seen in Brazil and USA. This shocking sighting supposedly took place somewhere in Brazil in July. A man recorded an unusually shiny object drifting in the sky in broad daylight. At first he thought it was a mylar balloon because of the silvery shine it gave off. But then looking at its shape and forward-propelled motion, he knew it was not a balloon but actually a UFO. This UFO closely resembled the metallic spinning top that actor Leonardo DiCaprio used as a totem in the movie Inception. As the UFO keeps moving forward, you can see a slight change in the shape, where it supposedly becomes shorter in height. Such shape-shifting UFOs have been seen by eyewitnesses before, but this is probably the first time that it's ever captured on camera. A similar metallic spinning top-shaped UFO was also seen in Colombia by the pilot of a commercial plane. The UFO came so close to the aircraft that there was definitely going to be a mid-air collision, but the pilot moved his plane away just in time. Surprisingly, on the very day the UFO was seen in Brazil, the same craft was also seen almost 3,000 miles away in Miami, Florida. But this time around, the UFO just stayed stationary in the air, like it was awaiting orders from the mothership. Why is this particular metallic spinning top-shaped UFO seen so often in South and North America? Only time will tell. UFO leaving a trail of disappearing lights. In the past, we have seen UFOs with lights that just disappear and then reappear again. This happens mainly when they realize through their advanced technology that someone is watching them from a distance. But what you are going to see next is something totally otherworldly. This sighting supposedly took place in the States and was captured from a night vision ring doorbell camera facing a barn. We can clearly see something luminous moving from right to left, but how it moves from one point to another totally defies all laws of physics that we know of. This craft seems to be teleporting from one point to another within a fraction of a second. Even the horse in the barn seems visibly disturbed, almost like it was afraid of something. This same craft was later captured by a man from his balcony, and this time the UFO was giving off an orangish glow. Surprisingly, the distance the UFO was covering this time around through teleportation was much more than before, going to show that it was in some sort of hurry. What kind of superior tech do these aliens possess that allows them to disappear and then reappear in a totally different position? And can you even imagine how advanced their weaponry will be compared to ours, considering this teleportation-like technological superiority? UFO seen in Chennai, India. Many UFO sightings have taken place in India this year, but a UFO sighting of this magnitude and with such clarity has never been recorded in the country. This sighting took place in Chennai on 19th August. A mysterious object was caught on video hovering over the city of Chennai. The object looked solid, starting off still, but then slowly started moving from east to west. Multiple witnesses reported the sighting, with photos taken from various angles. This UFO was emitting bright green light, very much similar to the UFO seen ever so clearly in Tehran, Iran, which was also emitting bright green light. If you compare the two footages side by side, you will think we are talking of the same UFO but from different angles. The Tehran sighting took place in the month of May, just 3 months before this sighting. So was this the same UFO? Surprisingly, there is a nuclear power plant situated in Chennai. Also, Iran is notoriously known for having a stockpile of nuclear weapons. So was this UFO just keeping a watch on our earthly nuclear capabilities? UFO in Spain vanishes in seconds. This particular sighting got a lot of social media attention, mainly as it took place near the party capital of the world, Ibiza. Tourists were enjoying the calm ocean atop a cliff in the evening at the Es Vedra island near Ibiza. Surprisingly, a half-crescent moon was also visible during that time of the day, and a tourist who was trying to capture that half-crescent moon noticed something very unusual near it in the sky. She noticed a white bright orb stationary near the moon. Upon spotting it, she immediately pointed it out to her friend, and they both ran closer to get a better view of the unusual object. But after they zoomed in on the orb to record some clear footage, something very eerie happened. The orb shockingly zoomed to the right with unprecedented speed and was never seen again. The speed with which it zipped out of the field of vision of the camera was totally otherworldly. Such an impossible feat cannot be achieved by any man-made craft that we know of. Even the most powerful rocket ever built, SpaceX's Starship, which has a top speed of 16,000 miles per hour, would find it extremely difficult to achieve such quick momentum in just a split second. Also, the fact that the bright orb was stationary all that while, but zoomed away the moment the tourist tried to capture it on camera goes to show that the aliens knew that they were being monitored. But how advanced is their tech that they can sense someone trying to record them from so far away? UFO seen in Lancaster and Palmdale, California. This sighting is the most recent one and took place on the 16th of August. It also got a lot of social media attention as it took place in California. These eerie sightings took place between the cities of Palmdale and Lancaster, north of Los Angeles and close to a U.S. Air Force base, which is why a lot of people are pointing out that this might be the U.S. military testing out its advanced crafts. Residents of Lancaster and Palmdale reported seeing up to 6 UFOs in the skies late Friday night. Some even saw the UFOs abruptly stopping midair and going in a different direction. Initially, they thought that they were shooting stars, but then suddenly, these UFOs started moving in a zigzag fashion, suggesting it was a craft being controlled by someone. At first, the UFO appears to be completely stationary, emanating lights which pretty much resemble those coming from top of a police car. Then, shockingly, the UFO began to descend, which startled everyone. There were even reports that one of these UFOs landed further out in California on a beach, and the authorities obviously cordoned off the area for further investigation. But surprisingly, nothing was announced in the news regarding these UFO sightings. Is the US government and law enforcement trying to conceal something from the general public? Did these UFOs descend on their own, or were they shot down by the US military? Also, Palmdale is no stranger to UFO activity, as back in 2022, residents of this city experienced something otherworldly that made them fear for their very lives. People spotted more than 100 so-called lights in the night sky, and some of these even moved, so they were definitely not stars. But what exactly were they? Were they smaller UFOs coming out of a mothership? And why were so many UFOs hovering over Palmdale that night? Green UFO seen in Tehran. This sighting took place somewhere in May in Tehran, a city in Iran. And many would say that this is just plain CGI, but to be really honest, this sighting has not been debunked yet. This seems like the closest UFO sighting ever. second only to the metallic sphere that zoomed right past a commercial plane in Colombia in 2023. What seems really crazy is that this UFO emanating bright green light hovered right over the city, just a few hundred meters above ground level. Such up-close and clear footage of a UFO has never been captured on camera. The nearness of the craft can clearly be gauged by the size of the visible UFO, which seems as big as a commercial airplane. And this same green UFO was seen by many others in the city, but this time at a higher altitude, moving with the same laid-back speed. Why was this specific UFO hovering so slow as compared to all the other UFOs that just speed off when they realize that they have been spotted, like the UFO seen in Ibiza, Spain? Or was this some highly advanced military aircraft that the Iranian armed forces were just testing? UFOs seen in Nagpur, India. This next sighting comes all the way from India. Back in June, people in the city of Nagpur were shocked to see such an unnatural phenomena occur in the night sky. June is mostly monsoon season in India, so the skies are heavily clouded with thick rain-bearing clouds. But the UFOs were so bright that their lights penetrated through the dark clouds, making them clearly visible to people below. In this footage, we can see what seems to be multiple UFOs moving quickly in a circular fashion. Generally, UFOs are known to either zip away like the Colombian UFO seen in 2023, or just stay stationary and disappear, like in the case of the Texas and Area 51 sightings. But this might be the first time that UFOs have been seen going round and round at such high speeds. Were they trying to create a whirlpool of sorts to open some kind of portal? Spherical UFO seen in Colombia. Colombia is infamous for being a hotbed for UFO sightings. Later on, we will talk about 2 more instances when metallic spheres were seen floating in the skies of Colombia. But this particular sighting took place in 2023. It was recorded from a commercial flight traveling from Bogota to Salento. Commercial airlines fly at an altitude of about 40,000 feet, and this metallic sphere was seen cruising in a straight direction at such a high altitude. If this was a weather balloon, it would be floating around and not moving in a straight direction. This indeed goes to show that it was being propelled by a strong force. Similar metallic spheres were seen in the Colombian skies on 2 other occasions. The first one occurred in 2020 and was also recorded from a commercial airplane by a pilot. And on seeing the footage, we will notice that this sphere is identical in appearance and movement to the one spotted in 2023. The second time a metallic sphere appeared was in May 2023, and the pilot recording the footage nearly missed a head-on collision with the incoming UFO. Are these metallic spheres keeping a close watch on the Colombian military or maybe the drug cartel? Or is there a secret alien base in Colombia that we don't know of? Phoenix Lights of 1997. This is one of the most widely talked about mass UFO sighting in history, which has left everyone dumbstruck for more than 26 years. This incident has led to the creation of multiple documentaries and even a horror movie. The Phoenix Lights, also known as the Lights over Phoenix.
In 1997, you took part in one of the largest military cover-ups in United States history.
Were a series of widely observed unidentified flying objects spotted in the skies over Arizona and Nevada in the southwestern United States on March 13, 1997.
Harkins, Theater in Scottsdale hosted a community forum on the Phoenix Lights today. It aired a documentary on this exact sighting.
Thousands of witnesses reported seeing a series of mysterious lights forming a distinct V-shaped pattern in the night sky over Arizona. Some witnesses even saw 5 floating lights moving silently across the night sky. The lights were described as bright, steady, and in a V-shaped or boomerang formation. Despite attempts by the U.S. Air Force to attribute the phenomenon to military flares, skeptics continue to question the official explanation. Similar triangular aircrafts have been spotted in Sunrise, Florida, and even over Manhattan, New York. So were these smaller UFOs part of the gigantic mothership seen in 1997? UFO over Jerusalem. This shocking incident took place in 2011 in the Holy Land of Jerusalem in Israel. This sighting is particularly distinct because of the manner in which the UFO eventually fled into the night sky. This footage was recorded by a native of Jerusalem while he was out on his night stroll. He suddenly spotted this extremely bright light above the city and started recording the video. But what happened next completely scared onlookers for their very life. After some time, the UFO slowly started descending like it was about to land in the city. Terrified onlookers continued to look with jaws wide open, thinking that this would be their first ever alien encounter. But just as the UFO was about to land, it hovered for some time, and then suddenly shot up into the sky at unprecedented speeds. This incident took place over one of the holiest places on Earth, the Dome of the Rock, known as the Temple Mount. This site holds great importance in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Hence, people are speculating that this bright orb, or UFO, was not there just by fluke, but with a planned agenda. But why was this UFO hovering over a place of religious significance we might never know? White orbs over Area 51. Being synonymous with aliens and UFO activity, it shouldn't come as a surprise that Area 51 finally made it to this list. The exact date of this sighting cannot be established, but the quality of this footage suggests that it was taken somewhere in the 90s. In the start, we can clearly see 4 bright orbs hovering in the sky above the mountains. Then suddenly, one of the orbs on the right side disappeared, followed by the disappearance of the remaining 3 orbs. The fear of seeing such an unnatural phenomenon can clearly be heard in the voice of the onlookers.
There's only 3. No, it just disappeared. They're disappearing.
This was followed by the onlookers aimlessly moving their cameras while trying to search for the orbs, but to no avail. Such an eerie phenomenon of orbs appearing in the sky and disappearing into thin air occurred 2 more times. Once in September 2018 in Texas, where 3 bright orbs in the sky disappeared for a brief moment, only to reappear again. Similarly, in 2021 in New York, 3 bright lights were spotted high up in the night sky. But they slowly disappeared after noticing an incoming commercial flight, perceiving it as a possible threat.
Where the lights go? Yo, where they go?
Why these bright orbs appear and then suddenly disappear is one mystery that is baffling most UFO hunters. Multiplying UFOs seen in England. In Warminster, England, about 100 miles from London, a passenger was parked in his car when he noticed something strange in the sky. At first, he thought it was just a couple of helicopters, but oh no, it was something much more extraordinary. As he zoomed in, he saw 2 bright orbs moving in perfect harmony, side by side. But here's where it gets weird. As these orbs flew behind a hill, they vanished, and then reappeared moments later. Could they have been using some kind of cloaking tech? And hold on, get this. Those 2 orbs suddenly split into 5 smaller ones, performing coordinated aerial maneuvers like fighter jets at an air show. How could 2 UFOs just multiply like that? Or were the others invisible all along? What do you think? Fast-moving UFO, captured by a drone in Wisconsin. 2017, Plymouth, Wisconsin. An amateur photographer and drone enthusiast is capturing storm footage when, out of nowhere, a white orb zooms past his camera at lightning speed. No man-made craft could move that fast. The orb darted across the sky and was gone before anyone could blink. This tiny, fast-moving orb. Could it be a weather-manipulating device or something more? Could these orbs be monitoring our weather or even our planet? Check out the footage and tell us what you think. A cigar-shaped UFO over Los Angeles wildfire. In November 2018, the devastating Woolsey fire raged in California, destroying nearly 100,000 acres of land. But amidst the chaos, a strange object caught the attention of local news channels. A cigar-shaped UFO hovered above the smoke, moving slowly across the sky. Was it some sort of advanced technology, or maybe even an extraterrestrial rescue mission? Why hover above a disaster like this? The mystery deepens as we continue our search for answers. Bizarre UFO seen near airplane over the Aegean Sea. High up in the sky over Greece in 2018, a passenger aboard a commercial flight captured footage of an elongated cigar-shaped UFO performing impossible aerial maneuvers. The object seemed to rotate, flip, and twist, actions no aircraft should be able to do. But here's the kicker. It left behind black smoke trails, making some wonder if this was a secret military craft rather than an alien visitor. Could we be dealing with top-secret technology here? UFO seen hovering in Texas 2022. Texas has long been a hotspot for UFO sightings, and this one from April 2022 is no exception. Multiple witnesses in Kyle, Texas, reported a strange UFO emitting an eerie green glow. The craft was stationary, completely silent, with no moving parts visible. Now, this UFO shared striking similarities to sightings in Iran and India. So, what's going on here? Could it be that extraterrestrials are so advanced they've figured out how to move without making a sound? Cigar-shaped UFO, seen over Montana 2024. Fast forward to June 2024, where a UFO, resembling a glowing cigar, was spotted in Montana. It moved slowly across the sky, emitting colorful lights. A witness with a night vision camera even caught the UFO at a 30-degree angle, as if it was preparing to land. Are these UFOs on a slow descent to some hidden base in the mountains? Could there be secret alien hideaways right here on Earth? UFO sighted in Chattanooga, Tennessee, 2023. Chattanooga, Tennessee, August 2023. A security camera caught a star moving across the sky, stopping mid-motion and then zipping off at breakneck speed. The object zipped out of sight in an instant, covering a vast distance in no time. This UFO's speed reminded some of the mysterious orbs seen in Ibiza, Spain. Could aliens really be capable of traveling at such incredible speeds? Strange lights over a temple in India. In India, 2024, UFOs were spotted over a temple during a religious festival. Multiple bright lights blinked in the sky, moving erratically. Were these lights UFOs, or could they be some kind of surveillance drones? This sighting adds to a growing list of UFOs reported over India, fueling theories of a secret base right here on Earth. Could this be an alien observation post? And the plot thickens, folks. Even the US military is now developing portable UFO detection kits. Clearly, we're not alone. Pyramid-shaped UFO over Moscow. It comes as no surprise that UFO activity is quite high over the largest country in the world, just like the USA. The sheer landmass covered by Russia, coupled with many isolated areas because of the extreme cold conditions, serves as a perfect area for UFOs who want to maintain their secrecy. In our previous videos, we have spoken about 2 hostile encounters that the Russian Navy had with aliens in Lake Baikal, which is notorious for its UFO activity. And in one of these encounters, the Russian Navy even came face to face with underwater aliens. But that didn't end well for the divers. Is Lake Baikal and Russia in general serving as a huge base for aliens on Earth? But moving back to the pyramid-shaped UFO over Moscow, on seeing the footage, You can clearly see a giant pyramid-shaped object hovering among the dark clouds. The UFO is not distinctly visible like other UFOs we've seen in the past, emitting bright lights, like the UFO over Tehran or the one over Palmdale, California. This UFO seemed to have some kind of advanced cloaking technology, leaving only its silhouette perceivable to the human eye. It also didn't move from its location during the entire recording, going to show that it was definitely doing some kind of reconnaissance over the Russian capital. Initially, you will think it's a triangle-shaped UFO, but later on, the distinct pyramid shape of the UFO becomes eerily visible, giving goosebumps to the onlookers. There was even a news report on the alleged object hovering above the city.
The Sun reported Friday a large, unidentified flying object hovering over Moscow's Kremlin. According to The Sun, witnesses said the pyramid-shaped object could be as big as a mile wide. And while Russian reports have ruled out UFO speculation, The Sun says the police have refused to comment.
Shockingly, a few years ago, a similar pyramid-shaped UFO was seen hovering right over the Pentagon in the USA. Here, too, the UFO was using its advanced cloaking tech, making it almost impossible to view with the naked eye. Why are these giant pyramid-shaped UFOs seen over strategic areas of two of the world's biggest superpowers? Are they merely doing reconnaissance or planning something sinister? Helicopter chasing UFO in Papua New Guinea. In 2020, a video surfaced from Papua New Guinea showing what appeared to be a helicopter chasing a UFO. Recorded by a local resident, the footage displayed a fast-moving object in the sky, which was being pursued by a helicopter. The UFO had a very odd shape, unlike any we've seen in the past. It showed two cylindrical objects revolving around it, but not connected to it in any visible way. The pursuit didn't last long as the UFO moved away at a much faster speed before it successfully evaded the helicopter and disappeared into the sky. While there hasn't been any official confirmation or explanation from authorities, the video became a point of discussion among UFO enthusiasts worldwide because of the unique revolving objects around it. Black disc-shaped UFO in Florida. The UFO sighting over Jupiter, Florida on March 21, 2021 involved a strange object hovering in the sky, which was seen and captured by multiple witnesses. The object was described as a large cylindrical or cigar-shaped craft, hovering silently in the same position for the entire duration of the recording. The sighting happened during daytime, over the well-populated area of Jupiter, allowing for a clear observation. This sighting looked eerily similar to the stationary UFO seen by Ukrainian soldiers during the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. Both these UFOs continued to hover in the same position without any fear of being detected or attacked on. Were aliens trying to make some kind of contact with humanity? Hundreds of tiny UFOs seen in the sky. Seeing one UFO in the sky is enough to scare anyone. Now imagine the terror of seeing hundreds of shiny UFOs, all at the same time. That is exactly how residents somewhere in the United States felt one eerie night. Hundreds of these lights could be seen high up in the sky, blinking on and off. These objects seemed to be just floating in the sky without any movement, pretty much like dust particles in the air. But the sheer brightness and visibility of these objects, in spite of being high up in the sky, goes to show that they were definitely crafts or probes having a substantial size. In another sighting, that took place right above someone's home, the mother almost fainted on seeing a large number of these bright objects.
Oh my God, I got goosebumps.
Papa, come here, hurry.
What is that? What is that?
But in this particular sighting, as all the tiny UFOs continued to hover in the same position, one UFO moved from right to left, thus breaking the constellation. These multiple tiny UFOs were also spotted somewhere over China. They resembled the majestic synchronized dance performed by the starlings called murmuration. And this time it was not hundreds, but thousands of glowing orbs swarming the moon in a circular movement, as though they were harnessing some sort of energy from our natural satellite. But if aliens are indeed trying to be inconspicuous, this large battalion of UFOs definitely didn't seem to serve that purpose. UFOs seen over Great Falls, Montana. On August 15, 1950, in Great Falls, Montana, the sky above caught the eye of a baseball coach who was filming his scouting process. Two flying silver objects appeared to fly concurrently across the Montana sky. The two orbs were captured, moving together horizontally in the sky before eventually disappearing. This sighting resembled the western U.S. objects seen in 2021 from a military range in western United States. There, 3 bright white orbs were captured flying at high speeds, equidistant from each other in perfect synchronized fashion during the entire recording. This incident piqued the interest of UFO researchers, as it was before satellites started clouding our skies. This sighting might also have been the very first UFO ever captured on camera. As we've seen, UFO sightings have intrigued and baffled humanity for decades, with reports coming from all corners of the globe. While some sightings have logical explanations, others continue to defy our understanding. Whether you believe these mysterious objects are evidence of extraterrestrial life or just unexplained phenomena, one thing is certain: the fascination with UFOs is far from over. UFOs seen in Russia and China, forming the infinity symbol. This mind-boggling sighting was recorded by a Russian man while sitting on his balcony. What he saw left him totally perplexed. At first, it just seems like multiple orbs forming a circular shape while moving at rapid speeds, but on closer look, we notice that it's the infinity symbol they are trying to form. Hundreds of glowing lights can be seen spiraling in a strange figure, 8 shape, high up in the sky. Similar rapidly moving orbs were also seen in Nagpur, India in June, but this time around they were forming a circle. Were these orbs just drones trying to communicate through symbols with their mothership? And these orb-like UFOs, seen in huge numbers, seems to be an Asian phenomenon, as they were also spotted in China. This time resembling the majestic synchronized dance performed by starlings called murmuration. And this time it was not hundreds, but thousands of glowing orbs swarming the moon in a circular movement, as though they were harnessing some sort of energy from our natural satellite. Why are so many orbs seen forming weird mathematical symbols over the continent of Asia? Cross-like colorful UFO seen high up in the sky. This is the first time ever that such a weird UFO has ever been seen anywhere in the world. The exact location of this sighting cannot be confirmed, but what you will see will surely make your jaws drop. The incident took place late at night when a man sitting in the balcony of his high-rise apartment noticed a strange illuminating light in the night sky. He started recording, and on zooming in, he saw a very eerie cross-shaped illuminated figure hovering high up in the sky. It seemed very stationary but also waving about from right to left, making it look very flexible. And not just white light, this UFO was emitting lights of different colors, pretty much like the decoration lights we see on a Christmas tree. During the entire duration of the recording, the UFO never moved from its position. We are generally used to seeing flying saucers, triangular UFOs, and even multiple bright orbs. But a cross-shaped UFO emanating colorful lights high up in the sky just doesn't make any sense. UFO with disappearing lights seen over Malaysia and Philippines. This sighting took place in June of 2024 in the scenic country of Malaysia. UFO sightings are not so common in Southeast Asia, and hence this garnered a lot of attention from UFO enthusiasts. A man saw some strange lights dotting the night sky in the distance. He started recording, and this is what he saw. Again, just like the UFOs seen in Nagpur, India, this UFO was hidden behind thick rain-bearing clouds. But the lights it was emitting were so bright that it pierced even through the dark clouds and was clearly visible from the ground. It can clearly be seen that the lights disappear, and reappear in the same position within a few seconds, just like on an airplane. It also seemed like these lights were part of a massive UFO just hovering high in the sky. This strange UFO sighting even made it to the local news media, but again, they had no idea what they had witnessed. Another similar sighting was also recorded in the Philippines. What was the purpose of this huge alien mothership hovering over Southeast Asia will continue to remain a mystery. USO seen off the coast of Mexico. What we are about to show you has no possible explanation. We have talked about unidentified submerged objects, USOs, before, when the Soviet Navy came face to face with hostile underwater USOs. In that confrontation, before things could get out of hand, the submarine surfaced and the USOs fled the spot without any conflict. But getting back to the recent USO sighting, this took place off the coast of Mexico in June this year. Some fishermen were deep at sea and they suddenly noticed a bright light coming out from beneath the ocean. Initially, it looks like light is being projected onto the surface of the ocean from the sky above, but you later realize that it's coming from deep beneath. This sighting also made it to the Mexican news, who had no clue. And just like this sighting, a couple of fishermen deep at sea, off the coast of Puerto Rico, noticed a bright blue light coming out from under the ocean. In both these cases, the fishermen kept a safe distance as they were oblivious of the intentions of the USO. We would like to bring to your notice that back in April 2013, a Customs and Border Protection aircraft captured compelling footage of a UFO over the Rafael Hernandez Airport. After flying over the city, the UFO slowly moved towards the ocean. The UFO then went underwater and disappeared. Only to reappear as two separate UFOs and then disappeared again into the ocean. Was this the same USO that was seen recently in Puerto Rico giving off bright blue light? Triangular orange UFO seen in New York. This was also not the first time when three orbs in a triangular formation were seen in the New York night sky. Back in May 2021, a man noticed three bright orbs along the Brooklyn Promenade, equidistant from each other, in a triangle formation. They resembled the triangle-shaped UFOs seen from the doorbell camera in Sunrise, Florida, in 2023. Fast forward to July 2024, and these same three orbs in a triangular formation were seen over New York. These orbs as well were giving off an orangish glow like the teleporting UFO seen before. The person recording the footage was so dumbstruck that he began to ask passers-by if they could also see this unnatural craft in the night sky.
Look at that, it's a triangle. You guys know what that is? You see that?
Unlike the triangular UFO seen along the Brooklyn Promenade, which was stationary, this UFO kept moving in the forward direction at a decent speed. During the entire recording, the three orbs stayed equidistant from each other. So was this just a huge triangular UFO with three bright lights, or was it three independent orbs moving in precision synchronized fashion? An UFO seen by couple in Canada. In the last few decades, Canada has also become a hotspot for UFO sightings. The most recent one occurred on 14th May in the Fort Alexander area. A Canadian couple stumbled upon an extraordinary sight when they noticed four UFOs shining as brightly as the sun over a nearby river. Justin Stevenson and his wife were driving through Fort Alexander around 10 p.m. when they spotted several mysterious orbs emitting yellow lights, hovering over the Winnipeg River. Justin immediately started recording this baffling sighting, which left him and his wife totally dumbstruck. To the normal eye, it appears like there are four suns on the horizon. Such a UFO emitting an orangish yellow light has been seen once over Texas as well, Are these orange UFOs all part of the same battalion keeping a watch over the continent of North America? Also, after his wife posted the footage on Facebook, many were quick to point out that it might just be a strange anomaly. Was this just a freak natural incident or multiple UFOs indeed? We will only know with time. Western U.S. objects. This particular sighting was released to the public on 31st May 2023 by Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, then director of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, also known as ARO. The footage was recorded by a forward-looking infrared camera in 2021 from a military range in the western United States. In this video, 3 unidentified objects can be seen flying at extremely high altitudes with high speeds, equidistant from each other, in precision synchronized fashion. These UAPs were tracked for almost 4 minutes, and during this entire period, they stayed equidistant as though they were 3 lights being emitted from one singular craft. Such a feat is impossible to achieve by any current man-made aircraft, as it would be difficult to remain equidistant for such a long time. Similar synchronized maneuvers are possible with modern-day drones, but these objects were flying at an altitude of almost 40,000 feet, which is impossible for consumer drones to reach. Even ARO has been unable to pinpoint exactly what these UFOs were. But how advanced is this alien tech that they can move as one singular unit, even with such high speeds and at such altitudes? Should we be afraid of them, knowing that they are far superior than us when it comes to technology? Or should we hope that if they ever do make contact, they will share their technology for the betterment of humanity? UAP seen by Navy pilots over the ocean. The exact location of this final classified UFO sighting has not been disclosed. But just like the previous 2 videos, the Pentagon made this classified video public in April 2020. This sighting took place just a few months after the tilting flying saucer was spotted on the east coast of America. From the video, it seems to be a metallic sphere moving in a straight line racing across the surface of the ocean. This also bears a striking resemblance to the metallic sphere that was spotted in the Middle East in 2022 that kept dodging the sensor of the military drone. Luckily, the skilled U.S. Navy pilots were able to lock onto the metallic sphere this time around. The Pentagon released the above 3 videos with the statement saying that the Department of Defense is releasing the videos in order to clear up any misconceptions by the public on whether or not the footage that has been circulating was real, or whether or not there is more to the videos. The aerial phenomena observed in the videos remain characterized as unidentified. UFO seen by pilots in 2015. The second classified video that was made public involved pilots coming across a flying saucer moving at tremendous speeds. This incident took place in 2015 near the east coast of America. The pilot seemed bamboozled on seeing this UAP at first. What further shocked them was the tilting movement of the craft from left to right, that it maneuvered mid-air while traveling at great speeds. The pilot also noted that the UAP was moving against the direction of the wind, which on that particular day had a speed of 120 knots, approximately 138 miles per hour. Thus, this flying saucer would need to possess immense power to move at such great speeds in spite of such obstruction from the wind. The Department of Defense is yet to establish what exactly this UAP was. UAP spotted by Navy pilot in California. U.S. Navy pilots often fly over states for routine naval operations. But back in 2004, during one such routine aerial surveillance operation, a Navy pilot captured something very unusual on his radar. This incident took place off the coast of California. At first, the pilot thought there was some error with his radar, but after some time, he realized that it was indeed an aircraft hovering right in front of him. It was an oval-shaped object that kept hovering in its position for quite some time. Even the pilot who recorded the footage said that this craft was not behaving according to the normal laws of physics. After noticing this weird craft, the pilot reported it to the Department of Defense. For nearly 16 years, the Pentagon kept this video classified, but in April 2020, the Department of Defense released this video to the public. 2 other classified videos were also made available to the public in 2020. Spherical UFO seen by U.S. Navy off the coast of San Diego. This was the first time ever that UFOs were spotted so close to a U.S. Navy destroyer. This video was again released by filmmaker and ufologist Jeremy Corbell. This hostile confrontation took place off the coast of San Diego in July 2019. These UAPs swarmed around multiple Navy warships for hours, thus showing blatant lack of fear for the U.S. Army. Jeremy Corbell stated that similar events were reported by 8 other Navy ships in the same area over 3 days. One of those ships, the USS Omaha, encountered as many as 14 of the UFOs all at the same time. For 2 long hours on the night of July 15, 2019, the crew of the Omaha detected on multiple sensor systems unknown objects that surrounded the ship. One of the objects, a self-illuminated sphere at least 6 feet in diameter, flew alongside the Omaha for an extended period and was observed through a thermal sensor. Then later it just disappeared into the ocean. The Army personnel who witnessed the event believe it was a coordinated interaction. Was this a show of strength by the aliens or just routine reconnaissance missions to keep track of the activity of the most powerful military in the world? If UFOs and aliens are making themselves visible to armies around the world, does that mean that they are preparing for a global invasion? Or are they just checking our military tech to see if we pose any threat to them? UFOs spotted by the Mexican Air Force. Seeing one UFO is enough to send shivers down the spine of any eyewitness. Now imagine seeing 11 such UFOs, all at the same time. Wouldn't you just freeze to death at that very sight? That's exactly what happened to a Mexican fighter pilot in 2004. On March 5, 2004, the Mexican Air Force was carrying out routine surveillance operations for drug traffickers over the state of Campeche, which is located in southeast Mexico. That's when the Mexican fighter pilot came face to face with not one, but 11 bright UFOs. This incident occurred at an astounding altitude of 11,500 ft above sea level. These 11 UFOs appeared out of nowhere and surrounded the military jet, which obviously put the pilot in an extreme state of panic, as he thought he was under attack. Luckily, nothing of that nature occurred that fateful day. The Mexican Air Force then sent out more fighter jets to aid their pilot. This then led to a mid-air chase, but the UFOs were so fast that the Mexican fighter jets lost sight of them, and they were never seen after that. The fighter pilot even said that the UFOs knew that they were being pursued. But why would 11 UFOs surround a military jet? Such a hostile confrontation has never been documented before, or maybe there is more to the story than meets the eye. UFO spotted in Chile. In 1997, the Chilean government officially created a committee for the study of anomalous aerial phenomena. The committee was created with the sole purpose of studying all reports of UAP activity by commercial, military, and civilian pilots. And one such documented incident that was highly publicized took place in 2014. Chilean naval officers came across a UAP while flying along the coast of Santiago in their helicopter. What they encountered left them totally dumbstruck and confused. They were at a height of about 4,500 feet, and for 9 straight minutes they kept recording this strange-looking UAP. At first glance, it looks like an elongated rocket moving horizontally. But as time goes by, the frontal part of the UFO moves ahead, leaving behind a long horizontal part. Even after studying the footage for 2 years, the Chilean military was unable to identify this unusual aerial phenomena. Also, it seems like aliens have a secret base on the moon. Let's continue to know more. UFO seen by Ukrainian soldiers during the Russia-Ukraine war. Russian President Vladimir Putin recently said that he would use nuclear weapons if NATO deployed their troops on ground to fight against Russia alongside Ukraine. And it was after this horrendous nuclear threat by Putin that a mysteriously eerie-looking UFO was seen by Ukrainian soldiers. This is the second time that a UFO has been spotted in a war zone. Normally, UFOs have been seen above cities and also over mountains, but rarely have UFOs been spotted during an active war by soldiers. The footage shows Ukrainian soldiers from the 406th Battalion totally speechless and horrified after seeing the UFO right in front of them. You can't blame them for such a reaction, as for a minute they actually thought that it was a new Russian aircraft that was ready to attack them with a nuclear weapon. But this UFO was disc-shaped and was completely stationary, floating in air for the entire duration. This completely bamboozled the Ukrainian soldiers, who can be heard swearing in Russian out of fear of not being able to comprehend what they had just witnessed. The scary footage was captured by a heat vision quadcopter drone used by the Ukrainian armed forces. This mysterious hovering object bears a striking resemblance to the Baghdad Phantom, a skinny cylindrical object spotted above Iraq in May 2022 by the infrared heat camera of a U.S. Air Force Reaper drone. And this was not the last time that trained military personnel came across alien spaceships. Metallic sphere seen at U.S. Navy Air Show. This unusual sighting took place in May 2024, just 2 months after the LaGuardia Airport Black Disc incident. On the bright morning of 28th of May, a Navy air show was on in full swing in Long Island, with more than eager spectators. The Blue Angels, who are a U.S. Navy flight demonstration squadron, were also performing at the air show that day. And as always, people were filming the crazy fighter jet maneuvers when one of the spectators noticed something really inexplicable. In the video recorded by this particular witness, we can clearly see the Super Hornet jet moving from right to left, but if you slow down the video, you will notice a shiny metallic sphere rush past the U.S. Navy jet. The incident takes place so quickly that had it not been for the vigilant spectator, someone would think it's just a fly passing in front of the camera. Metallic spheres of this kind have been encountered in the past by not just U.S. Navy pilots, but Colombian commercial pilots. And even U.S. military personnel in the Middle East. So if this UFO was only visible on slowing down the footage, what Mach speed was it traveling at without any visible means of propulsion known to man? And what creates even more curiosity is that these metallic spheres are normally seen near military installations. So are these aliens keeping a watchful eye on our military technology? Are they doing so to gauge if we are a threat to them before they make some kind of contact with us? UFO seen by U.S. fighter pilot over the East Coast. The Pentagon has disclosed to lawmakers that it had cataloged 400 reports of UAPs. Out of these, 11 were near misses with aircrafts. U.S. military personnel have also come across UFOs on multiple occasions, and some of these encounters have even been captured on camera. Many of these footages have been declassified and released for public viewing. One such eerie footage was captured in 2021. A Navy pilot was flying his F-18 fighter jet off the East Coast when suddenly he noticed something strange in his airspace and reported it to the command center. The pilot then decided to remove his cell phone to record what he was seeing as proof, and this was the footage he captured. The UAP was so quick that we have to actually pause the video just to get a glimpse of it. Also, the UFO was moving at Mach speeds without any visible means of propulsion. When you look at the still image more closely, it clearly looks like a metallic sphere, which very much resembles the other metallic spheres that have been seen in the Middle East and Colombia. Even during the congressional hearing held in May 2022, Naval Intelligence couldn't give a concrete answer as to what that UAP was.
Describe what we're looking at. What are we observing?
It's reflective in this video, somewhat reflective, and it quickly passes by the cockpit of the aircraft.
The big question that still remains unanswered is, why do so many UAP sightings happen near military aircrafts and bases? Are the aliens keeping a close watch on our military technology? Or are they preparing for something more sinister like a full-scale invasion? UFOs seen in a triangle formation over Manhattan. Being the most densely populated of New York City's 5 boroughs, Manhattan houses iconic landmarks like Times Square, the Empire State Building, and the Rockefeller Center, to name a few, that are world-famous tourist attractions. And often such heavily populated areas are where UFO activity happens to peak. The lucky person to witness this spectacle was Hamid Vitalis, who was on his way to work on the night of 15th May, 2021. While walking along the Brooklyn Promenade, the unusual light formation in the sky caught his attention, and he immediately recorded the event on his phone. You can clearly see 3 bright lights high up in the night sky, equidistant from each other, in a triangle formation. This looks very similar to the triangle-shaped UFOs seen from the doorbell camera in Sunrise, Florida in 2023. These lights were stationary for some time, but when an incoming commercial flight started approaching these bright orbs, 2 of them suddenly disappeared, and only 1 bright light continued to be visible. And then the 3rd light also slowly dimmed away, so as to say that the aliens sensed some threat from the incoming commercial flight and moved away for their safety and anonymity. UFO seen in South Asia. This video footage of a UAP was taken from a forward-looking infrared camera. Like most of the military captured UAP evidence, the exact time when the footage was taken is still unknown. This incident took place somewhere in South Asia. An MQ-9, which is an unmanned aerial vehicle, was conducting a routine surveillance operation for the United States Air Force, when suddenly, a very suspicious-looking object zoomed right past it. It looked like a circular disc, like a craft moving at a relatively high speed in a straight line. This footage was taken by another MQ-9, which was in the vicinity. If we pause the video, we can clearly see that the craft had an oblong shape. This UFO bears a striking resemblance to 2 other UFOs seen near private and military airspaces. One that was seen over LaGuardia Airport in New York, and the Baghdad Phantom that was spotted north of the city of Baghdad in Iraq. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARO, which is an office set up to investigate unidentified flying objects, stated on its official website that the object likely is a commercial aircraft, and that the trailing cavitation is a sensor artifact resultant of video compression. But no aircraft currently known to man resembles the UFO seen that day in South Asia. So is the U.S. Department of Defense purposely covering up an actual UFO sighting? This was about not the first time that the U.S. Air Force came face-to-face with a UFO in the sky. UFO seen in Oklahoma night sky. This is another sighting that took place just recently in 2024. On the 4th of March, an Oklahoma resident was enjoying a quiet evening with his kids, right outside his residence, when suddenly they spotted something abnormal above them. They saw an unusually bright object in the sky giving off luminous white light. Initially, he thought it was a shooting star, but it was moving extremely slow to be one. Then suddenly the UFO blasted a white plume of air resembling a shockwave, which further perplexed the onlookers. Some actually think that this was just a rocket launch that is getting blown out of proportion. Surprisingly, on that same day, SpaceX did have a launch from Cape Canaveral, Florida, but that launch took place at a totally different time and location compared to the UFO sighting. So was this just aliens keeping track of all the space launches that we do? Recently, Elon Musk even said, "I don't see any evidence of aliens," as Starlink satellites have never dodged UFOs. Or maybe these UFOs are just too quick to detect. We will further see 2 other UFO sightings that shockingly got very close to the US military. Tic Tac UFO. This sighting took place in 2004, and the footage was taken aboard a Navy fighter jet from the nuclear aircraft carrier USS Nimitz. The footage was captured using a Raytheon Advanced Targeting Forward-Looking Infrared Pod, which consists of the most advanced sensors and tracking system in the world. The sighting of this oblong object took place at an altitude of almost 20,000 feet. Also, this UAP was not giving out any plumes of smoke like a conventional aircraft. The fighter jet was moving at a speed of roughly 250 knots, that's almost 300 miles per hour. So this UFO was also moving at a relatively high speed, just like the fighter jet. The fighter pilot constantly tried to change the mode of tracking to get a better understanding of the UAP, but to no avail. And then after almost a minute and a half of tracking the UAP, it suddenly accelerated towards the left at an unprecedented velocity, moving out of the view of the sensor. The fighter jet was unable to track it after that. Were the aliens already aware that the US fighter jet was tracking them, and were they just playing along? UFOs spotted in Sunrise, Florida. This footage was recorded at night from a doorbell camera in Sunrise, Florida in 2023. In this video, 3 UFOs can be seen to move in the formation of an equilateral triangle. Such a formation would be very difficult to maintain when moving at high speeds by any of the current known aircrafts. The UFOs then eventually disperse in different directions. An eyewitness recorded another footage of the same event from another part of Florida, adding credibility to the sighting. This footage gives us a better understanding of how far apart the 3 UFOs actually are from each other. When seeing the first footage, initially it looks like a singular ship with 3 lights shining at its 3 edges. But later you can clearly see that the 3 UFOs start acting independently and move in opposite directions in precision synchronized fashion. Such synchronized movement has been seen at drone air shows. But it would have to be a very large drone, almost the size of an airplane, to shine so brightly in the night sky from such a high altitude. People in Florida are still clueless about what they witnessed that fateful night. As we move ahead, we will also see the UFO that almost scared the Chilean military personnel. Baghdad Phantom. This sighting got nicknamed Baghdad Phantom as it took place in Baghdad, Iraq. This was an active conflict zone at the time of the observation. This sighting took place on the 14th of May 2022. 6 classified images were taken north of the city of Baghdad by the US Air Force using a Reaper drone with a thermal camera. These images were later released by filmmaker and ufologist Jeremy Corbell, who also leaked the jellyfish UAP video at the start of 2024.
Thermal spectrum could it be seen? But anything that looks like that appears to have a payload, that's a big deal. It could be dangerous, so these are high priority.
When these 6 images were stitched together, you can clearly see a disc-like object, quickly zooming from left to right. Fast-moving crafts are powered by propulsion systems like rockets or engines that create heat. But the thermal camera that filmed the object showed it was colder than its surroundings. This goes to show that it was definitely not a rocket. It also implies that the spacecraft was made using highly advanced technology. For a second, you actually think that you are watching the UFO footage over LaGuardia Airport, but in infrared. Both these discs share a striking resemblance and were seen just 2 years apart near national and military airspaces. Was this the same UFO keeping an eye on America's military activity? The U.S. military designated the disc as an unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP. Even AARO, which is an office set up by the Department of Defense to investigate unidentified flying objects, is now aware of this case and is carrying out its investigations. The filming of the Baghdad Phantom UAP was not an isolated UAP event in the area during this 24-hour period. UAPs consisting of various shapes were filmed during this UAP event series. But moving away from Baghdad, another shocking UFO sighting took place right next to a U.S. military fighter jet. UFO seen in the Middle East. The U.S. Department of Defense released this classified footage in April 2023. This footage was taken somewhere in the Middle East. The exact location has not been disclosed. A military drone captured an apparent silver orb-like object that crossed the sensor's field of view. This video was recorded on 12th of July 2022. The Department of Defense has said that in spite of multiple analysis, the object still remains unidentified. The flying object seems to be a round, metallic, shiny spear moving in a straight line. Then suddenly it moves to the right when the military drone tries to lock onto its position. This shows that the highly advanced technology of the UAP was able to detect the U.S. military drone without any physical contact. Even till the end of the video, the military drone was not able to focus on the UAP as it kept dodging the sensor. Then 1 year later, in June 2023, NASA held a press conference to talk about that particular UFO sighting. NASA is also closely working with the Pentagon to find out what exactly they had encountered in the Middle East. But this was not the first time that such a metallic sphere was seen by military personnel. As we move ahead, you will be shocked to see how close some UFOs got to the armed forces. 3 UFOs seen in Texas. This sighting took place on a warm night in September 2018 in Tomball, just north of Houston. A group of friends had gone out to dinner that night and had just returned to their apartment complex, when suddenly they noticed something disturbing in the night sky. Out of nowhere, 2 stationary bright lights appeared in the sky, and then suddenly, the third one made itself visible, like it was hiding its presence from everyone. Then the 2 lights moved away from the third one, circling around in formation, but eventually coming back to a triangle formation. Then suddenly, after some time, the UFOs just disappeared and again reappeared. One of the eyewitnesses was an ex-military from the United States Air Force, and he was convinced that what he saw that night was not from this world. He made it very clear that they were definitely not flares nor any aircraft he knows of. These UAPs bear a striking resemblance to the triangle-shaped UFO recorded from a doorbell camera in Sunrise, Florida in 2023. And this was also not the only time a UFO was spotted in Texas. In April 2022, in a town called Kyle, a strange UFO was captured on camera emanating an orange glow, which has never been seen in other UFO sightings. And as always, local officials had no explanation for the orange UFO. But why are so many sightings happening in and around Texas? Do aliens have a secret base in Texas that we don't know of? Talking about military bases, some UFOs came surprisingly close to U.S. Navy warships. Let's continue watching to find out more. Triangular craft seen by the U.S. Navy. This footage was again leaked by ufologist Jeremy Corbell, who had earlier released the jellyfish UAP video. The video was recorded by U.S. Navy personnel and was captured with a night vision camera from the destroyer USS Russell in 2019. This was then leaked by Jeremy Corbell in 2021. The government's classified briefing clearly mentioned that the triangular UFO was definitely not owned by the United States or any other country, or even a private spaceflight firm. Some think that this might be an advanced version of the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit, also known as the stealth bomber, that the U.S. military might have been testing at that time. The stealth bomber 2 has a triangular shape and has a similar flight pattern. Surprisingly, the military personnel who recorded this video said that the UFO was behaving in unexpected ways. In addition, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, set up in 2020, couldn't determine what the craft was. Later, we will look at another massive UFO sighting bearing the shape of a triangle that took place in Florida, USA. UFOs spotted on the moon from Moscow. UFO activity is not just something that happens on Earth, but on our natural satellite as well. A photographer from Moscow, Russia, captured something on the moon that left him totally spellbound. Anyways, there are conspiracy theories that the moon is an alien base, but this footage just solidified such beliefs. Back in 2019, a Russian photographer set up his equipment to shoot a full moon over the city of Moscow. And while trying to focus, he saw something very unusual. At first glance, he could see 3 circular objects moving near the surface of the moon. And then when he tried to refocus to confirm what he saw, to his amazement, now there were multiple circular UFOs moving at the same speed from left to right over the moon. It seemed like an entire battalion of UFOs was flying out for a mission over the moon. Analysts are still not able to ascertain what exactly these flying circular lunar objects were. And seems like one of these alien spheres made it to South America. UFO hovering over airport in Puerto Rico. This incident took place in Aguadilla, a city in Puerto Rico. The compelling footage was captured in April 2013 over the Rafael Hernandez Airport by a Customs and Border Protection aircraft. In this footage, we can clearly see that the forward-looking infrared camera tracking the movement of this UFO was finding it extremely difficult to keep track of it because of its intense speed and agile movement. In the footage, we can see a sphere-like object swiftly flying first over the airport and then over road and commercial buildings. Even the military personnel capturing the footage said that the UFO exhibited characteristics that cannot be explained by any known aircraft or natural phenomenon. Also, they added that this UFO was definitely smaller than an aircraft. So maybe it was an alien probe sent to survey the airport area. The CBP aircraft continued following the sphere for more than 10 minutes. And during this time, it slowly moved towards the ocean. That's where things got weirder, because the sphere suddenly dipped inside the water. And when it emerged out of the water, it split into 2 UFOs while traveling at the same speed. The UFOs again went underwater, but this time, never to be seen again. The military personnel were perplexed and horrified as to what they had just witnessed. Surprisingly, similar metallic spheres have been spotted over U.S. military bases. Let's continue watching the video to find out more. UFO reported over New York's LaGuardia Airport. This is the latest sighting in the list. This shocking sighting took place just recently in March 2024. Michelle Reyes was on a commercial flight above New York's LaGuardia Airport on the 25th of March. She was casually recording a video of New York's skyline like most travelers do as their plane gets ready to land, when suddenly she spotted something very unusual. She saw a mysterious, eerie-looking black disc-like object zooming past her plane from right to left. The dark object was traveling at roughly 2,500 feet above ground level and was relatively close to the plane. The motion was really quick, but if we pause the footage, you can clearly see that this UAP was neither a drone nor any manned aircraft that we know of. Now let's see the footage in real time. Even if we consider the fact that the plane and the UFO are moving in opposite directions, it still seemed like the UFO was moving at tremendous speeds, like a fighter jet. No man-made drone yet can achieve Mach speed while flying. After recording the footage, Michelle Reyes immediately emailed the Federal Aviation Administration to let them know what she saw. But even the FAA are still clueless as to what the mysterious black disc was. And this is also not the first time that a UFO was seen flying near an airport. UFO seen by a commercial pilot in Colombia. This by far has got to be one of the most hard-hitting evidence for UFOs that has ever been caught on tape. The one-of-a-kind video was recorded by the pilot of a commercial airplane in Colombia. In February 2020, an Airbus A320 was on a routine flight soaring over Medellin, Colombia. At about 30,000 feet in the air, the pilot decided to pull out his phone and record the view. But to his astonishment, he spotted a metallic cube with pointy edges moving seamlessly in a straight line. Now, if this was a weather balloon, it would sway from left to right. But this seemed to be moving forward in one direction, implying that it was being propelled by a powerful engine of sorts. A similar object was spotted by a U.S. fighter pilot in 2018 over the Atlantic Ocean at an altitude of 35,000 feet. That UFO has still not been identified, and its structure seems to be very similar to the cube-like structure that was seen by the Colombian pilot in 2020. Whether these are alien manned spaceships or just probes sent to monitor the area, neither the U.S. nor the Colombian military has any clue. But these UFO sightings are nothing compared to what the U.S. military has encountered on other occasions. 10-foot humanoids on a Brazilian mountain. So for people who keep saying that UFOs and aliens are only seen in the U.S., here is something specially for you. Just 1 week after the Miami shadow alien encounter in January 2024, people in Brazil encountered two weird alien creatures on top of a hill at an island 3 kilometers off the coast of southeast Brazil. Local hikers who recorded the footage reported that 2 alien creatures were spotted on the mountain, and they were supposedly 10 feet tall, similar to the Miami shadow alien. The reason they say they are so tall is because the shrubbery on that hill was barely reaching their knees, which would ideally cover half of a normal human. The aliens were then seen walking down the hill quicker than normal humans with bigger strides, obviously because of their tall stature. Even Brazil's provincial government commented on the video, calling the creatures strange beings. Were these the same aliens who were seen in Miami on New Year's and have now moved to South America? UFO seen by Colombian pilot. This sighting took place on 4th of May 2023 over Antioquia in Colombia. The footage was captured by the pilot while flying in his Cessna T-303 Crusader. According to him, the object was first seen floating and appeared stationary at a specific point between Medellin and Santa Fe. As they approached the UAP, it suddenly moved towards them. He then moved his plane around and started filming. But as he did so, the UAP started moving towards them. He managed to avoid the UAP while flying at a speed of roughly over 300 kilometers per hour. The pilot expressed fear during the encounter, insisting that the object was neither a balloon, a drone, nor any known object to him. Similar flying spheres were also seen in other parts of the world. Let's continue to know more. Jellyfish UAP in Iraq. This footage was first released on January 10, 2024 by investigative journalists Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. Jeremy Corbell is a filmmaker and ufologist based in Los Angeles. He obtained this footage from 2018 of a military-filmed UAP incursion within a United States Joint Operations base in Iraq. This UAP was immediately nicknamed the Jellyfish UFO because of its jellyfish-like appearance. The U.S. military drone monitoring this UAP could only view it in thermal vision. The drone that was designated to track this UAP has the potential of locking in on the tire of a remote car from as far as 27 miles away. But this advanced U.S. military drone found it difficult to lock on to this jellyfish UAP, thus indicating that some alien technology was trying to jam the signals of the drone so that the UAP went undetected. And the odd part is it kept going white and black, meaning hot and cold instantaneously, so as to not get detected by the thermal vision camera, which goes to show that this UAP knew it was being monitored for the heat it was emitting and made immediate modifications to go undetected, thus implying that a sentient being was operating that UAP. After hovering over the U.S. Army base for some time, the UAP then went out over a body of water, plunged into it, and stayed underwater for close to 17 minutes. And after 17 minutes, it shot out of the water at a 45-degree angle with tremendous speed and disappeared. Did the UAP go underwater to hide from the U.S. surveillance drone? Or was that part of its mission to survey the underwater area around the military base for further weaponry? Whatever be the case, the U.S. military has no idea what it was. UFO over Houston, Texas. On August 11, 2014, residents of Houston, Texas encountered a very bizarre sight, something unworldly and unexplainable. Many residents witnessed a huge circular craft, hovering in the night sky, having a total of 12 bright lights. At first, the UFO appeared stationary, but later it moved from left to right at a considerable speed. Official reports speculated that it might have been drones or weather balloons. A similar circular UFO hovering with the same speed was seen in Tehran in July. But this particular UFO was emitting bright green lights. Were these two UFO sightings connected to each other? Only time will tell. Guadalajara UFO incident of 2004. On June 10, 2004, a sighting was reported by multiple witnesses in Guadalajara, Mexico. Witnesses observed a group of bright spherical objects, more than 100 of them, hovering in formation in the sky. The objects appeared to move independently but maintained a loose cluster. The incident occurred during broad daylight, making the objects highly visible to a large number of people across the city. The sighting garnered attention from UFO enthusiasts and researchers. This closely resembles the multiple floating objects seen on the moon from Moscow, Russia, in 2019. Those UFOs also moved in a similar fashion without breaking their constellation. While there were various theories, including experimental aircraft or atmospheric phenomena for the Guadalajara sighting, no official explanation has been provided till date. UFO over Stuttgart, Germany. In the month of May 1993, many onlookers witnessed a luminous object hovering in the night sky over Stuttgart, Germany. The object was so brightly lit, making it distinctly visible in the dark background. The UFO was disc-shaped and looked stationary on initial observation, but later it moved slowly towards the right. As it moved forward, it hid in the dense trees. Witnesses reported that it hovered quite close to the ground until it finally disappeared into the thick forest. Even the person recording the sighting was visibly terrified, as he can be heard breathing heavily in the video clip. Hudson Valley UFO sightings. The UFO sightings of Hudson Valley, New York have set themselves apart, being one of the few places where such sightings have occurred over several years. Starting in 1982, witnesses reported seeing a large stationary craft with numerous bright lights in the sky above Hudson Valley. Typically seen around 9 p.m., this object was described as larger than a football field and could hover at a low altitude. Over time, the UFO made brief appearances which highlighted its boomerang shape. By 1986, around 5,000 witnesses reported seeing the strange lights. This sighting closely resembles the Phoenix lights later seen in 1997 as well over Phoenix, Arizona. The UFO seen back then also resembled the shape of a boomerang. So was this the same craft doing a routine reconnaissance? La Bruja UFO in Tucson, Arizona. On the 3rd of February 2020, towards the south of Tucson, Arizona, a strange white object suddenly appeared during a Border Patrol thermal camera scan. With an almost humanoid-like silhouette, it glided across the screen, passing over a stretch of desert and even some cattle. The thermal footage, which showed white as cold and black as hot, showed that the object maintained a consistent elevation and a bright white color. The movement of this object looked very similar to that of the jellyfish UAP spotted in Iraq in 2018. While this UFO continued to stay cold throughout the sighting, the jellyfish UFO changed its thermal signatures from hot to cold simultaneously. Are these the same humanoid reconnaissance UFOs? Guadalajara UFO sighting of 2023. One of the recent UFO sightings happened in Guadalajara, Mexico, on January 7, 2023. The object was seen over the city skyline, creating speculation and awe among UFO enthusiasts. The UFO was seen by witnesses to be bright, disc-shaped with pulsating lights, very similar to the UFO seen in Tehran in 2024. According to witnesses, it hovered in the sky and then suddenly took a U-turn to go back in the opposite direction. The UFO trailed in the night sky, and as it moved ahead, each of its lights kept vanishing until it was not to be seen in the sky at all. UFO over Pentaya, Sweden, in 1973. On November 11, 1973, in the rural village of Pentaya, Sweden, a small black speck was seen in a series of images captured by an unsuspecting witness. Described by the witness as a loaf of bread but with more edges, the object had a dark spot on the top, and the rest of its body had a steel gray color with a seemingly yellow glow under it. According to the witness, there was also a triangular object, which was suddenly ejected from the loaf UFO. It was described to have a silvery white color and seemed like it was glowing. This sighting looks very similar to the UFO seen during the Russia-Ukraine war. Are these the same UFOs seen 50 years apart? UFO sighting during a live golf broadcast. Viewers of the golf broadcast from Akron, Ohio, were astonished to find something peculiar on their screens during the live event. On August 5, 2017, an object was seen to briefly hover in the sky behind the players and spectators. This sighting was captured on live TV right before the object moved steadily across the screen, shocking everyone who witnessed it. The object also allegedly projected a cloud to cloak itself, which vanished instantaneously as soon as the UFO moved out of sight. While the sighting generated significant buzz online, the golf broadcast itself provided no official comment on the incident. Kaikoura Lights of New Zealand. The Kaikoura Lights are a famous UFO sighting that took place on 2 separate occasions in Kaikoura, New Zealand in December 1978. A cargo plane's crew reported observing a couple of bright, moving lights that seemed to follow their aircraft. The lights were described as bright, white or orange lights that seemed to surround the airplane. The lights also changed position rapidly and disappeared, only to reappear in different locations. Radar operators from air traffic control also reported detecting strange objects on their radar screens that corresponded with the visual sightings of the lights. The lights were captured by a local news crew and were shown on national television, sparking widespread interest back in the 70s. cloud-covered UFO near Santiago, Chile. On August 27, 2016, tourists and hikers reported seeing a shiny object cloaked among the clouds over the El Yeso Reservoir. They reported seeing a dark, disc-shaped object emerge from a cloud cover. Behind the layer of fluffy clouds, a layer of red clouds was seen, and the object was seen embedded in the red clouds. The object reportedly hovered silently and remained relatively stationary for a brief period before slowly moving away. Despite the Chilean government and local UFO researchers looking into the incident, the official stance was that the sighting could not be attributed to any known aircraft or natural phenomenon. What do we make of all these UFO sightings? We have realized that in recent times UFOs have gotten surprisingly closer to military bases, fighter jets, and even US Navy destroyers. Are these just extraterrestrials monitoring us, or are they making bold moves with the intention of waging a future war against humanity?
Orbit. Beyond the blue.